Good morning and welcome to Breakfast Central. We're so glad, very excited and delighted that you chose to start this week with us. We hope you enjoyed the festivities and you're still enjoying because it's a public holiday here in Nigeria. So for wherever you're watching, it is still Eid al-Kabir. So, Barka de Salah.
Barka de Salah to you. Hope you got enough meat over the weekend.
Nobody gave me meat. But I must be such a bad person. For not, okay, no, that's not true. Shout out to Jimmy Lawson. Jimmy Lawson sent me meat. I haven't collected it yet. And it's with my mother, so I'll go and collect that one.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. A warm welcome to you all and welcome to Breakfast Central on this beautiful Monday morning. It's a public holiday like my beautiful co-anchor has said. So I'm sure lots of you are home, still enjoying yourselves, have plans for today to visit family and friends. Just a nice breather. And today, which way Nigeria will be looking at public holidays. You know, we did talk about the productivity part of it, but we'll be looking at another angle today.
I like that. I like the fact. Anyway, welcome to Breakfast Central. Today is a special day for all of us on set.
Very extremely special day for all of us.
But we're not going to say anything yet.
Why not?
No.
Let's start the show with good news to put people in a celebratory mood. Because there's been lots of celebrations over the course of the weekend.
While the Muslim,
while our Muslim brothers and
Joy
sisters.
is coming and Joy is here.
Joy is here.
Do you know this dance?
Our Muslim brothers and sisters.
When people score goals in football, they do like this.
Yes. Speaking of this dance, somebody on this set became a brand new parent over the course of the weekend. Woo! In fact, one of the two men standing beside me became a tear-rubber daddy over the course of the weekend. Can you guess who? Definitely not the one moving away from me. Ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Benga Agbarho welcome a brand new baby girl over the course of the weekend. Congratulations. We're so excited we have a Breakfast Central baby.
Congratulations,
Benga.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations to you and your lovely wife.
I would like to say a big thank you
to
my wife, first and foremost, because she's a superwoman and she's been very graceful and she's always there for me. And to all the women and mothers in the world, you guys are special.
You know that we said 5
special
Mother's
treatment. I mean, they should give them more Mother's Day. Special treatment because it's not easy.
Did you cry?
It's really not. Yeah, I was overwhelmed with emotion, tears of joy. And also a big shout out to my son. He sent a very lovely note to his younger sister.
Oh, bless.
Yes, saying he can't wait for them to bond and, you know. I was really tough.
Congratulations on being
away from all the bullshit.
We're going to we have to do like a baby shower for you here. Breakfast, your ovary, which will give you ovaries. We have to do a Breakfast Central baby shower in honor of you and our brand new baby. And we want to say we welcome her. We can't wait for her to grow up.
She's very beautiful.
I know.
No, you don't need to tell us.
You don't need to tell us.
Come on now. Come on.
I'm saying,
in the spirit of celebration, you know, as we've congratulated Benga, I also want to congratulate a family who's just celebrated over the course of the weekend, the Akinrogudes, who had their matriarch turn 80. So happy birthday to Grandma. Wishing the whole family lots of pleasant celebrations.
Happy birthday, Grandma. We love you.
Exactly. Happy birthday, Grandma. We love you. We hope to live 280 and beyond. And in the spirit of celebration, the Yoruba tradition, the Yoruba cultural celebration happened yesterday. Ojude-Oba, called, I think it's interpreted to mean the King's Forecourt, because it dates back over 100 years where these people who had to, of course it happened I think the 3rd day after Eid al-Kabir. So back then I hear that the Muslims would go to the king just as a way of saying, oh, thank you for allowing us practice our religion and all the likes. That was what I heard about the history and tradition of Ojude-Oba. But now it's become, there's a fashionable lady, it's become a way for Ijebu sons and daughters around the world to come together, celebrate their unity, their identity, their culture.
Oliver, I thought I'll see you here.
Me? I'm not an Ijebu daughter. I would have loved to go do it. They invited me. This picture is hard. Come on. So this is another common feature we see at the Ojude-Oba. Horses. You know, their horses, pictures, and it's just that elegance. Families ride together.
I think that's
horses.
my picture of the year. 2025.
There were other ones. So did you see Nifagbemi's pictures? Nifagbemi is the goat of Ojude-Oba. I think that last year was the year that Ojude-Oba really caught fire in Nigeria, and many, I mean, they've been doing it for years.
Thanks to Mr. Steve.
Yeah.
Yes, but last year, it wasn't just Mr. Steez. I think, see, this is the fact with me.
That's my
I think
man.
it's important to give honor to whom honor is due.
No,
I'm such a huge fan of his work.
all the
flowers.
I cannot forget the clip, I think it was from last year, where they did Omo Yoruba Levi Swagger. He's such a brilliant storyteller.
This
and
guy?
Nifagbemi is who he thinks he is.
Do you know who this guy is?
I know him.
Ni.
I know him. And just to also say that
funny thing.
the fact that this thing has gotten as viral as it is, or as it has,
oh yeah, there he is.
Props. That's Mr.
There he
Steez.
is.
While we give props to the likes of Mr. Steez, we would never have known of a Mr. Steez if not for the photographers, the videographers, the content creators behind the scene that made this viral.
Moment.
So I think at this point, I want to give a round of applause to every storyteller behind the scene that brings Ojude Oba to social media and has now made it a trend.
I would also like to give a shout out to New Central Television.
Absolutely.
And Niyi Omoni.
Yeah, Niyi was there.
He was there to capture all the moments, and he was also represented in his own way. I mean, I don't think they could have sent a better correspondent.
I don't know. Do we have
Even
the clip?
his name sounds
the
very
clip of
fitting.
Niyi there?
Niyi Omoni.
Boom, 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 boom.
It didn't feel like work for him yesterday.
Yeah.
He was so excited, you know, jumping up and down, doing a great walk.
Oh, great work or fun work?
Wow.
Fun work.
I don't know if we'll have the clip of Niyi as well.
Those kind of assignments.
Let's take a look at what Niyi did prior to the start of the entire event as well.
So it's the D-Day, is the 2025 Ojude Oba Festival, and it promises to be explosive. I remember the iconic individual from last year who went viral, Babruk Oreagba. The Steez.
Morning.
Yeah. Well,
Nice to see you guys here.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm trying to keep up my own steez. I see you're still your elements, but
Don't worry, I will change it for you. I will change it. You know, the thing is, everybody's waiting to see what I'm going to wear. So I've been trying to keep it on the wraps for so long. But in a few minutes, I think all will be revealed. Woo! I'm nervous. I'm excited. You know, but this is what I do. This is my hometown. I mean, you can see the love. You saw the love we got this morning. It's just, you know, I do this. This is how I start every year. Last year, in this very spot, there was a video of me drinking beer, and this is what I do. I mean, look around you. Got people everywhere. This is my hood. This is my hometown. This is my family hood.
and I'm sure when you come out, every other person's steez will just reduce. You know, give you the steez.
That's the plan now. Maintain your steez and composure. 100.
All right, we'll look out for that. We'll look out.
I'm going to do a quick Superman move, and I'll be out shortly.
Looking out to that. Looking out to that. All right, thank you.
Money with the Steez, you know, trying to keep up with Austin Azu in Delta State with his own Steez over there.
I don't know, Benga, what did Austin Azu have to do?
What's the
Innocent
linkage?
Austin Azu.
No, I'm just Ojude Oba of reporters now.
Wow.
Okay.
But you know, shout out to Mr. Steez. I think that last year,
Yeah.
and if you watch an interview, there was an interview he granted where he talked about how they've been doing this for years, showing up every year for Ojude Oba. And last year, his picture went viral, and it was a moment that the whole world then got to celebrate. And he now became an ambassador for tourism in Nigeria.
Did you see the Minister of Tourism? She was there yesterday.
I didn't
And
see
she
her
had a
after.
behind the scenes video.
That was
She
the governor,
wore
by the way.
a costume. She really
Oh, yes, she wore the crown.
Exactly.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Wow, and that's
My
the executive
goodness.
governor. My God.
My goodness. I have goosebumps
That's
just watching all the
this
clips
video.
from there. I think it's just so beautiful, and I'm so excited about the potential that Ojude Oba carries. The potential in terms of, I mean, when Mr. Steez was talking about ever since he became Mr. Steez officially, he was talking about how typically his kids will only come for Dirty December, but now they want to come back for Ojude Oba. They are bridging generations. Fathers, children. Now everybody wants to do Ojude Oba because it looks cool. Children, young people, influencers this year. Actors, somebody was saying that they've turned Ojude Oba to AMVCA, that it's not about fashion, but it is about the fashion.
Exactly.
How we tell our stories, in the beauty of our ashoke, the fact that they are age grades, all of them sitting with their age grades, coming together.
I wanna know
beautiful.
how this gentleman coped in 33 degrees.
Inside the outfit.
You know, you guys are just talking, and I'm already
how
imagining,
is-
picturing it.
Yeah,
The heat.
anyway. I'll leave that for fashion.
Is the things exactly? Fashion is pain. It's okay.
And it's
Fashion
how you
is
express
pain.
yourself.
Yeah, fashion is pain. Do you know what women go through a number of times on this red
corsets.
carpet with corsets? It's okay, let them stay in heat. It's normal.
You know,
They're doing it for themselves because they want to
I really
look
like
good.
that the governor has embodied
Yeah.
this. He's taking it very personal. And it's put Ogun State on the tourism map.
Yes.
Looking very excellent. I just wish the roads in Songwater and parts of Ogun State can look as excellent. As sharp as
That's a
as
good
the
one. That's a
governor.
good one. And I'm hoping that we can start to see a replication of this kind of festivals in the different parts of Nigeria. So I know they do something called the Lagos Igbo Hangout as well. We want to see different, like the Calabar,
Oh, yes,
Calabar Festival.
I
We want to see
miss
the beauty.
the Calabar Festival.
The beauty with that Olori Ebi, Tomike. We want to see the beauty in the Calabar Festival. We want the Ijo, the Shekiri people, different parts of the world.
Yeah.
I look forward to tourism becoming a thing where people will fly into Nigeria to be like, oh, this festival is coming up, New Year Festival is coming up. I want to
And
go to
I
the
mean,
party.
it's a thing in Egypt where all the hotels were sold out. They were booked, Airbnbs. Every people couldn't get
See money
accommodation.
that the
A lot
business
of
people will
people
make this
had
weekend.
to come in from Lagos that morning.
Yeah.
Because there was no accommodation.
And one thing you expect is that as soon as that continues to happen, it becomes a must attend, because eventually you now have foreign direct investments, people coming in from different parts of the country.
Side events.
International photographers will also want to come in so they can get a glimpse of what's really going down, take pictures of themselves and so on. It's a good.
I don't know why, I should have sent this to our producers, but there's a clip of one of my babies who basically, she showed up and she showed out, Ebi Kicks. I really wish her video was here. Ebi Kicks is the real Shakara queen herself, and I wish I had her clip.
And the horses are so regal. I like that they
dress the horses.
I love this. I love this. I mean,
And I'm sure they do some training in horse handling and
yeah.
because you can't just get on a horse.
do have the
And it's
handlers
nice
as
to see well-fed horses, not the types we see in Elegushi that have malaria.
Meanwhile, that's
those ones that eat noodles and egg.
And kuli kuli. It's been a long time I saw those horses. So, you know, back in the day
you
when I
don't
was coming
hang
to work in
you
the
don't
morning,
hang out in those kind
5 a.m. No, I'm not joking. On the express.
Okay.
5 a.m. you'll be coming to work, you'll be dodging car and dodging horse. It happened to me many times.
Yeah.
Have you not seen
Yeah.
horses trying to cross the road?
And it's
We
very
have-
dangerous.
Very. We
Yeah.
haven't seen them in a while, so kudos to
Shout out to
Oba
Commissioner
Elegushi or, you know, whoever is
Commissioner of Environment, Mr. Tukubo Wahab, for
Wahab.
sanitizing.
Exactly. We don't want to be
there's
dodging
still more
vehicles
work
and
to be
dodging
done,
horses.
But there's still more
but
work.
we'll get there. It's a gradual
so-
process. Anyway, away from the Ojude Oba.
Ojude Oba.
Ojude
The
Oba.
King's Folk
Yes,
Horse.
very well said.
Ojude Oba. Oba.
Hopefully, Nii
This one
can
I'm
tell
doing
us.
it with Igberaga now. Let it not be
No,
that
she's a
mispronouncing it.
Lagos girl now. Lagos
Thank you.
girl target.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. I really appreciate the kind
Let's move on to
of
another story. This story actually caught the attention of almost everyone. I don't know if it caught your attention too.
Not really. It didn't really catch my attention.
Oh, really? Okay. Anyway, it's a story that had to do with a pastor of a very popular church. Someone had moved very closely to his car, trying to take a video and also possibly, according to him, say hi. But unfortunately, it seems like it wasn't welcomed. But that's not the conversation. The conversation is what we see just
And
in this video.
yes, and also what he said afterwards.
So yes, there's an allegation
That's-
of him
that's it.
brandishing a firearm, and this was done by a content creator. I think it's Wild the Car Guy. Apparently, what Wild the Car Guy does is he spots luxurious cars. I think that morning he set out to, according to his interview with Daddy Freeze, he set out to spot Range Rovers. Those were, that was his target for the day, and this was the first Range Rover he had spotted for that day. And approaching him, he made the video, and of course was calmly chastised by Pastor Paul not to do that. And then he drove off. Of course, social media went
Berserk.
crazy with reactions. People, on the one hand, saying, don't you expect him to defend himself? Why do you walk into people and trying to make a video of them? You are invading their privacy. Others who said, no, this is a firearm. Why exactly are you carrying a firearm? Are you licensed to carry a
Have you
firearm?
confirmed it's a firearm?
It's
part of the conversation.
Exactly,
Yeah, yeah. It's part of
exactly.
the
So
conversation.
there are those who are saying that the video is not clear enough to show whether or not this is a firearm.
And then
now, we
some are
can't tell
saying
exactly
that
what
it's
it is.
artificial intelligence. It was doctored. It was
Which is a
edited.
possibility.
No, that
In
one
this
was
day and
still in his hand.
age, in this day and age, it is
no AI
possible.
videos.
But we know AI videos because
Eh?
the...
Are
Okay,
you
but
sure you
what
do?
was the pastor's official response?
Anyway, let's watch the video.
Let's watch the
Let's
video.
see.
Let the stories and the tweets tell the story, then we'll come back
Absolutely.
for analysis.
Boss. Sorry, sir, sorry. That Friday morning, there was one of my big daddy like that used to call me whenever I want to pass so I can film his car there. So I left home around 7 o'clock to go to that roundabout.
That's 7 in the morning or 7 in the evening?
7 in the morning on Friday.
Okay.
On Friday. So he texted me say that I should come to the roundabout, that Ikoyi roundabout. So because that's what I used to say. That's why I used to film cars like that. So after
that's
I got there,
Ikoyi roundabout just before the Ikoyi bridge.
Yeah.
Bridge.
Yeah. That leads to Banana.
Okay, so all right. So you are not in Lekki, you are on the Ikoyi side.
Actually, that morning I was not in Lekki. My dad used to call me to film his car that morning. So I have to come from Aja to that place to film his car. So after done with his car, I just feel like to video some Range Rover that morning. I wanted to video like 10 to 15 Range Rover, then add the clip together, then post on my TikTok. So that was my plan. So and that was the first Range Rover that we spot in that morning. That autobiography was the first Range Rover that we spot. That's why 2024. So as I see the car that is coming, I didn't even wanted to video it first. So I just like, let me start from this Range Rover. So after I start this thing, so as the man now passing, I don't even know the person that is inside. To be very honest,
did you touch the car? Did you at any point touch the car?
I did not move close to the car. I did not move close. I even moved I moved back safe. That I know to feel like maybe I'm disturbing him or something. I moved back, so I was not even close to the car at all. I was not even close to the car. So as I start the video, so I would just say, boss, like boss. So as in that part, I was so happy. I even think that you just want to acknowledge me, sir. Yo, thanks for your video, stuff like that. That was what I was expecting. So as the one that said, don't do that. I was like, sorry, boss. I don't know that I should get your set. So I did not really focus on him. I was just focused on my own screen. So because to get the video perfect, that was what I used to do, to get the video clean. So I did not really know. So as soon as she now left, I did not even know what is his hand. I started see one stuff in his hand, so I did not know. So as soon as she left,
say the thing no be GUN.
The enticement of the enemy is always the love of money, at the root of all evil. What we have had to witness was clickbaiters, just looking for more money. I probably wasn't even their target. Their target was to make more money. And I was falsely accused of bearing a firearm, pointing a firearm at an aggressive content creator who came within personal distance. The only thing separating me and him was about maybe 3/4 of a meter and glass. I do not have a pistol license for a firearm. I do not carry a firearm, and I pointed no firearm at anybody. Amen.
So there you have it. The response from the content creator as well as Pastor Paul, two sides of the divide. Let's also go on social media and get the two sides of the divide. Let's say the tweets reacting to this. We'll have our producers put up the tweets from X, and so we can respond to what they're saying. But there's also one more video, I believe.
Yeah, I think from Very Dark Man did also respond.
Okay.
Did drop his own 2 cents,
Yeah.
But
I thought he would drop his own 50 cents.
This is better than butter.
Let's take a look.
What were you holding, Papa? We all saw that you were holding something. If you are telling us it's not a firearm, even though it looks like a firearm, then you should tell us what you are holding. According to Pastor Gideon, he says it's possible to say the whole thing. Inhaler, whether in gas man. It's possible to say a black inhaler. But me, honestly, I don't like for now. Waiting me, I see. Now, not tell you. I don't like for you now. Now see, now nothing I see. Now black cannot tell you whether they go like this. Okay, now you see. Is it Dr. Abi Pastor Paul? Is it him that's supposed to be addressing the country? Yes, he should speak up. But this kind of report, it is the Nigerian police that's supposed to give us the report by doing an investigation. Do you understand? That's number one. Number two, since Pastor Paul Adefarasin is saying that he was not holding a pound, the only person that can tell us what he's holding, it is that boy who recorded the video. But here's the problem. That's if they never go meet the boy now. By now, if you don't go silence the boy, that's another thing entirely. Because it's not a big man business. And in Nigeria, this guy, man, they connected to powers, bro. You know how many people they sell at church? You know the influencer they there, not go. Not go. But again, what is the thing with House on the Rock pastors with guns? Because take a look at this one. This is House on the Rock pastor for Abuja that time, where he used gun, AK-47, better tools. They preach. Let's take a good look at it.
Come, Babala was wearing suits. Or can I tell you the truth? So they tell you you have to do certain things in order to grab you and to grip you. And unfortunately, not all pastors, but there are some pastors who are operating under the spirit of divination. They know how to read palms. They're not different from palm readers or diviners. So they can look at you, tell you about your past, the things that happened in your family tree some years ago, and you think that this is a prophet. How many people in Jesus' lifetime?
This particular one, police even brought him in for questioning. At the end of the day, what was the thing I even heard about the case? I think the guy said he borrowed it from a security policeman in order to pass his message. I think that was how the case ended. After all, a big man would come.
There. Let's see some of the reactions. This one says, leave Paul Adefarasin alone. Why are people after men of God? What that man of God was holding was not a gun, but a taser. Your desire to bring down, okay, I didn't finish that one. Your desire to bring down this man is evil. He was threatened by people telling him, and he showed them his taser. He was threatened. Was he really threatened?
We don't know. We were not there.
Anyway, Amajua says, never been to House on the Rock. That said, I stand with Pastor Paul Adefarasin. The video wasn't clear enough to make a conclusive judgment. Those who didn't need the video to project their bias on it. He goes on to say, however, with the mob charging at him, it can't be a difficult choice for me to know where to stand here. I stand against the mob. I stand with Pastor Paul. I believe him. Okay.
And by mob, obviously, he's referring to the social media mob that's been dragging him. All right, Dr. Penking.
Pastor Paul Adefarasin intelligently avoided talking about what we saw in that video. He didn't say it was a taser. He didn't say it was a stun gun. He didn't say it was a pepper spray. Why? Because he knows experts will analyze and see that it wasn't any of those things. So he just hid under the umbrella of it wasn't a pistol. Then he immediately fell back to the common defense of all so-called men of God. They are persecuting him. He saw something, sir, and all we are asking is, what did we see? He refused to say anything, and the very huge congregation was there clapping. For what? Even when he didn't say anything. Medical doctors in that congregation. Profs are there, lawyers are there, top security experts like DSS members are even there. For religion erases their brain. No matter how educated you are, there is something religion does to your brain. Nothing as powerful as religion. Anyway, that's your opinion. And there you have it. Final tweet. He's a liar, and shame on all his church members defending him. I am a huge gun lover. And I know I have seen that brand of gun before. It is a pocket gun, and it was also used in James Bond movies.
Taurus.
It is a Taurus ACP that is discontinued. Taurus Spectrum. It goes ahead to get the gang. Yeah,
that soundtrack was needed at that very time.
It goes ahead to get the picture, the name, the brand, the product, every single thing.
So maybe we should put this picture side by side, the screenshots from Pastor Paul's hand, or what was alleged to be Pastor Paul's hand. Maybe that should be the next photo. Do we have that?
No, not really.
I think the clip, the one where they showed a circle. Now that we've seen, is it the same thing? It's not the same thing. This thing looks like hand dryer, or like little hand dryer.
It looks like, I think there we have it. The jury's out on this case. And
it might even be air freshener, to freshen the car.
Like someone said.
I think so.
But, I mean, jokes it could also be chicken leg, because anything
like you said jokes apart, how you said
anything man of God says, where are you to say is not
No,
but look, honestly, if you're going to come out, that's why they say come clean, 100%. And the PR experts would know that, look, if you're not going to tell the whole truth, don't just bother. How do you come out and say, okay, you weren't brandishing a gun. What were you holding? What was it? What was it? That's been clever by half. If you're not going to tell the whole truth, why did you bother in the first place? And from somebody of that level, a pastor, they're held to higher standards and levels of morality. You would expect him not to be. It's politicians that can be dodgy about, oh, I won't reveal what I was holding. So what were you holding? If it was a pepper spray, say it was a pepper spray. If it was anything, say it was, but not saying what you were holding is being clever by half. And I expect if it was other countries, law enforcement would have invited him for a talk. And
absolutely.
I mean, if he has a license to hold a gun, it's okay. He's a public figure. His life could be under danger. He needs some level of protection. And he hasn't killed anyone. And if he feels threatened in the situation, he has a right to, I mean, just to tell his attackers to back up. But not telling the truth is my grouse here. It's yeah, you expect better from him.
It's half enough. Benga, I don't know, you weren't here a few weeks ago. I think there was another, in quotes, a man of God who is highly revered in the society. And we had not same incidents, but something that had to do with people putting their belief and trust and looking up to you. And I did mention, I remember after I finished that show, someone had reached out to me and said, oh, I saw your analysis on this. One point I took was the fact that you hit a chord, and I'm going to say it again, maybe I will hit a chord. He said, you said that Nigerians are struggling with the economy. Nigerians in the north are running away from insecurity. Nigerians are also grappling with the fact that lives are lost on a daily, just like one of the reports we're going to see today. Again, children are missing. Mm-hmm. So people now turn to who? They turn to their religious leaders and hope that they would find succor and rest there. But now you turn there, and it seems like, hey, am I really sure of what's going on? And I agree with the fact that we've seen the story, we've seen the pictures, and I would told the same line that Benga said. The line simply is this: you didn't kill anybody, you didn't do anything. But it's also good that if you're coming out to make that statement, it's also good to mention that, oh, by the way, this is it. Oh, can you see? It's not a gun. I don't have a gun. Exactly. This is it. Congregation, can you see it? It's not a gun. So please don't answer these people. Guess what? The trust, the believability, in quotes, maybe those who
and they will rest the case there.
People will say, okay, but no statement. I even saw a comment. Someone said it's AI. I said, AI? Really?
The length people.
So I agree with you. It goes a long way, and that's where communication comes in. But then again, it goes back to touch not my anointed, which is a generic statement Nigerians would always make. Don't touch my anointed is always right. But then again, that's what do you say?
So about the touch not my anointed, when we talked about, and I believe it was Pastor David B. you may be referring to, when we spoke about this, I said then, and I'll say again, that we must always remember that men of God are not infallible. Before they are men of God, they are first men. And we must always see that.
And the law, everyone is equal before the law.
Yeah, yes, that is true. So I'm just saying that, and I say this because people act super, like we place men of God on such a high pedestal, like you don't expect any sort of flaw. Oh, how can you do that? And you are a man of God. Oh, how could you do that? I can understand that because as a religious authority, there's a certain expectation. But I hope that we remember always, whenever we hear situations that involves pastors, priests, religious leaders, that before they are men of God, they're first men. And as such, they're prone to the same things that we all are prone to, right? That being said, regarding...
To human.
Exactly. Regarding this video, I'd say that I don't know that I have... And I completely understand when both of you say it was important for him to say this is what I was holding. I don't know what the full picture is, right? I'm not sure that I understand a clear picture of what exactly it is. It's a video, and it's a bit concerning in this social media age where once a video, and social media has helped to bring a lot of cases to the spotlight and to the fore, and helped to advocate for a lot of cases where there's injustice. But there have been also cases where it can be misinterpreted, right? And I believe that carrying a firearm is not legal in Nigeria. I think that the responsibility lies on
unlicensed firearm.
Unlicensed. Thank you for highlighting that. Unlicensed firearm. I think the responsibility would lie on law enforcement agents, right? In the case of Pastor Uche Aigbe, they had invited him and they had conversations and all that. So the responsibility lies on them to be. If somebody says, Pastor Paul has said he wasn't carrying a firearm, right? If law enforcement now feels that they're not satisfied with that explanation, then they can now go and probe further and say, okay, you weren't carrying a firearm. What was it? If, that was an issue there. I think that he's given a side of the story. The TikToker has given a side of the story. If Nigerians don't seem impressed with that, maybe the law enforcement agents will be the one.
Competition.
Exactly. So, but for now, Pastor Paul Adefarasin said he wasn't carrying a firearm, and he wasn't carrying a firearm. Even the TikToker, the social media content creator, did not say he saw him carrying a firearm in the video that was played.
So what?
He didn't say he saw him carrying a firearm.
He said he wasn't paying attention. He was paying attention to his phone.
So yes, he never confirmed that he saw him carrying a firearm. Anyway, speaking about allegations of what may have been happening, Pastor Paul is not the only one facing allegations of that he has disputed. Lagos State Governor, there have been allegations of some sort of a rift between the governor and the president, especially because the president was in Lagos for a commissioning, shaking all the other governors, got to Governor Sanwo-Olu and skipped him to another governor. Of course, Nigeria started to put two and two together, saying that there had to be a rift between the two political figures. But Governor Sanwo-Olu has come to clear the air regarding this. I don't know if we have the video to say that, there is nothing there. It's just, I say, where did you see the rifts? Like, but let's take a look at it. I wasn't the one who clarified. Let's get the clarification from Governor Sanwo-Olu directly.
Alleging a discord between you and the president. What about?
Did you see any discord?
That's what we need you to clarify.
Did you see any? Can't you see when you are smiling, I'm smiling? There's none. There are people that believe that they are more Catholic than the Pope. There are things that you see people, they cry more than they bereave. Father and son, are things that will always ensure that, there's nothing at all. My father is my leader, and we're grateful that he has given us the audience today to come in and say hello to him.
More Catholic than the Pope, crime.
Did you see any discord?
What happened? Let me give you guys context. That was the GAC meeting. Governor Sanwo-Olu went to the president's private residence in Ikoyi. It's been a mecca of activities. Even members of the PDP. In the background of that video, you could see the former Minister of Works, Mr. Ogunlewe. In that video, we also saw Mr. Shomi. Segun Shomi was there over the weekend. So the president is in celebratory mood. He met with, it's not going to chase him away. They went to commission the coastal road together. And I believe the governor is just trying to,
douse the tension.
But there's more to it than, until I hear it from Mr. President's mouth that, look, I've forgiven him. I don't believe.
No. What you hear from Mr. President's mind that there is no issue.
That there's
because
no
it's
issue,
not,
exactly.
Forgiveness is only necessary when you can prove that there was this.
But people are, guys.
Now, they said.
They said there's issue. The governor was not there at the deep sea.
The governor was probably unwell. Uneasy lies he had that way.
Okay, how about the day the president...
Just
the president and the governor have probably greeted outside and then upon coming inside, I have a few handshakes.
During the Eid celebrations, it was the vice... the governor, the president was there.
The deputy governor
who else was there. The chief of staff was there.
The deputy governor of Lagos State was there.
Yes, the deputy
governor. The former governor of Lagos State was not there.
Yeah, but they are Muslims. Understood. They were at the prayer ground. Mr. Sanwo-Olu is a Christian.
Anyway, what we're doing check and balances.
Yes.
Okay.
But from that statement...
Well, don't cry more than the bereaved.
Yes,
that's the bottom line.
And then Governor Sanwo-Olu was in Akwa Ibom receiving Governor Eno. I wonder why we've not discussed this.
Yeah, Governor Eno is later on.
Your
governor.
No, please, I've begged you people.
And
don't use the word your
governor. What is your governor?
So,
Akwa Ibom State.
And there was one of the
Akwa Ibom states.
Yes.
One of his cabinet members.
Do we see a pattern here?
You cannot force
Have you noticed the pattern?
Not just one. Others have followed though. They follow suit.
That's very on Nigerian, and it's very impressive. I really can't wait for us to get to that conversation proper. But I see a pattern playing out here. on Breakfast Central.
Tell us.
Governor of Delta State, almost home state, moved to APC. Followed by Akwa Ibom, moved to APC.
Governor of, where are you from?
Governor Lucky Aidatwa of Ondo State is already APC.
So are you trying to say that?
It's tripartite.
So are you trying to allege which political party? Well, the good thing is we are non-partisan.
We are neutral, exactly.
Because
we're non-partisan.
The party I belong to is the party that cares for the Nigerian people.
I am for everybody and I am for nobody. In the words of
political
President
always.
Buhari.
Anyway, let's move on.
Okay, talking about politics before we move on, I believe we're all political animals. What political animal?
I'm an eagle.
Bingo.
A political eagle. I fly high above my
Joe, you're a political ram. They don't sacrifice you.
As usual, we've let down our shoulders a bit. We've been able to flex our muscles. Now we're ready and set to go into the action. Don't mind these guys. Let's bring to you our top stories for today here on Breakfast Central. Time to go into the main course of today's show. Today on Breakfast Central, we'll be assessing Akpabio-led Senate. It's a very intrinsic conversation we're looking to have. PDP cracks down on disloyal members. We're looking at a plan to overhaul South-South leadership. That's what they say. We'll go into that story as well. Akwa Ibom Governor Umo Eno dumps PDP defected to APC, although some members say, no, we're not going with you. A sad story to look into: Agbarho missing children. Almost 26 and still counting. News Central will bring to you the front pages as well on Breakfast Central. Stay with us.
Governor Umo Eno, once a staunch member and loyalist of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, has jumped ship to the ruling party, the All Progressives Congress, APC, a move that has got lots of reactions from Nigerians since his defection over the weekend. For over 2 decades, Akwa Ibom has been a PDP stronghold that seemed impenetrable. But now, Governor Umo Eno appears to have broken ranks by defecting to the APC in what he calls a progressive move.
Experts worry if this is truly about progress or it's a desperate political survival tactic, especially with three of his cabinet members refusing to defect with him and resigning from the positions as his commissioners. Join us this morning to x-ray this development in Akwa Ibom as Public Affairs Analyst, Dr. Yusuf Haroun. Warm welcome to you. Thanks for joining us on Breakfast.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Okay. It seems that what we're seeing now seems to be like some form of a routine. Every day we're waiting to hear who has defected to the APC. And it's interesting to see that states that were formerly known as PDP strongholds are now moving to the APC. When you speak with them, or when some of these governors give explanation, they say they're trying to connect to the center, you know, to benefit the people. So I think the first question will be, do you genuinely believe these governors when they say that they're doing it for the benefit of the citizens of their state? For example, Delta State government and now
Akwa Ibom State. Thank you very much for this question. There is something that is very permanent in politics, and that is self-interest. Many of them are just after their self-interest. So on the 7th of June, when it was released that the Akwa Ibom State governor has defected, and he defected on the 6th of June, I did a research and found out that there are 6 main reasons why he defected, and I will just highlight the 6 before I go in depth. Number 1 is access to federal power. Many of them want to align to the center. Many of them are not courageous enough and don't have the same audacity which the current president, Asiwaju Tinubu, had when he was in opposition. Many of them have forgotten that he was in opposition and he stood against Obasanjo. He didn't defect to the PDP, and he still was called the last man standing at that time. So number 1 is access to federal power. And this is also from what he quotes, and I quote him. He said, quote, "I want to go with the tide and not against the tide," end of quote. So Governor Eno, Pastor Eno, wants to be in alignment with the federal power. He doesn't want to go against. That is number 1. Number 2 is that it's due to political survival. Many of them want to survive in their politics, and they feel that if they are in opposition, they are not going to survive. Number 3 is Tinubu's strategic political influence on these governors. Tinubu has a master strategist, whether by hook or crook, has been influencing these governors. This is one of the things also. Number 4 is the PDP's internal crisis is also a reason why many of them are defecting. They have problems with the secretary, they have problems with their PDP structure, and many of them are having problems setting up PDP in their parts, in their states. Number 5 is a 2027 election strategy. Many of them are looking at re-election, and if they are having problem in their states, they might have problems getting re-elected as governors. And finally is the bandwagon effect. As you said, Akwa Ibom states, Delta went. I'm also predicting about 6 state governors who are in opposition that are romancing with APC.
Who are these 6?
From the south or?
From the south and one in the north. One of the main is, look at Davido, look at his father, look at the governor of Osun State, Adeleke, the Adeleke families.
The APC people had come together to say that the Adeleke family is not welcome.
The president, as a strategic politician, he needs them. So either that they are in PDP and they work for him, and in return, he also secures his seat in PDP government, that is, gets re-elected. So Governor Adeleke wants to be re-elected come 2026. He will also look at how
but there's a current APC structure from a governor in Osun State APC, so that would be difficult.
He has been rewarded. Yes.
Minister of
he has been rewarded economy.
But I mean, he would prefer to be governor, if you ask me.
Yeah, but Asiwaju is strategic. He can let Governor Adeleke to run for 4 more years. After that, he can.
He can let. There are people in Osun State that vote.
Now,
how much of an influence does the president have? And why didn't we see this gale of defections under President Buhari if everybody is all about connecting to the center?
Now,
because you sound like, oh, the president will pronounce and then automatically everybody will
like
vote.
It's not
for his preferred choice.
No, it's not automatic. And the president doesn't get all he wishes all the time. He doesn't. For example, in Lagos State, we saw the drama that happened, which you even covered, between the governor and the president, even though he denied it and said you can't be holier than the Pope. We all know, we saw the body language. The president didn't shake his hand when it came to Lagos. Obviously, there was a political rift, which the governors, the head of the governors, there is the GOCs, have come to resolve, led by the Olusi. So definitely the president is not going to get all he wants, but as a strategist, he will look for how he can secure. His own goal is to secure 2027. That is his aim. And he doesn't mind, and he has been doing this for over 3 decades. He knows how to work with opposition and how to cut them to also work with him.
But that seems pretty much like a worrisome case right now, because, I mean, according to reports, out of 26 lawmakers in the State Assembly, 13 refused to follow Governor Umo. They said they're not going. And also 11 members, in quotes, according to insiders, they reluctantly just followed him. And then we've seen three commissioners. Namely, you have Engineer Eno Ibanga, you also have Ini Ememobong, special duties, and also you have Almond Bob. These are coming from finance, this is coming from deep sea, this is also coming from works. 3 of them have said, no, we would not follow.
Important portfolios, too.
Very important portfolio. These are like what people would call mouth-watering.
Juicy.
Thank you. Juicy portfolios. But these guys have said, these commissioners have said, no, we're not following you. Are we seeing a trend that would eventually break the fabrics of Nigeria's democracy? Because what we see now, experts are saying, is not looking like it's democracy. It's starting to look like there is a plan to completely, take over Nigeria and then run it for as long as you can.
Now, 2 things. Firstly, some of these politicians are loyal to the previous governor, to his predecessor, that is Governor Udom Emmanuel. Also, we should know that the current governor, not all of them are going to fall in a line. Some of them are core PDP members. Another reason is that everybody is after self-interest. Some of them can still be looking forward to running as political office holders
in their party, and they believe they stand a better chance in the PDP. So that's why some of them are not going to join. So that's part of politics, self-interest, and everybody looks at strategic ways in which they can. Some of these commissioners now, some of these lawmakers, they may have been appointed or selected or nominated or recommended by the previous governor, Governor Umo Eno. And information reaching.
I'm glad you mentioned, I believe I'm about to preempt what you're going to say. This current governor, Pastor Eno, renamed the Dakada Towers, the tallest building in Uyo, after his predecessor.
Yes, that was what I wanted to say.
Appreciation of, you know, his benevolence is something excellent. And that same predecessor has now said that his defection to the APC is an act of betrayal. How do you reconcile that?
Yes, the reason is that Governor Umo also was nominated by his own predecessor too. That's Godswill Akpabio. And Godswill Akpabio also and Governor Umo have a rift. They are currently in animosity.
So grandfather.
Yes. So it is. Yes, it's going like grandfather.
On the street, this is what
father,
you call
grandson,
Bola before Bola Bombola.
So politics is very, 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 very lucky, very messy, very dirty. It's all interwoven, it's intertwined. It's not something you can just say. This is, as you said. Oh, okay, Tinubu is doing. It's not a straight road. Sometimes it's a very, very murky water that you can't just predict exactly how things are going.
But is it not betraying the trust of the Akwa Ibom citizens? If these people who went to the polls, and when they went to vote, they did not write Umo Eno's name, Pastor Umo Eno's name on the ballot. It is a political party you're voting. So if you come, because this is the argument that Rivers State brought up, when those House of Assembly members allegedly defected, they said, look, we voted you through the vehicle of your political party. You've gotten power, now you want to move to another political party. So is that not maybe some form of betraying the trust that the citizens put in them in voting for that political party?
Yes, my analysis on what you said is you are absolutely right. It's a betrayal. And I believe Nigeria's democracy is still growing, and we have not reached the maturity like in the Western world, like the US, where somebody is a Democrat for life. For 30, 40 years, the person is a Democrat. Or someone is a Republican for life, or even in the UK, where somebody is in the Labour Party or is in another party where they are in that party for life. So I think that politicians, especially the ones practicing it in Nigeria, they should leave self-interest and face ideology. We don't have fixed ideology in Nigeria.
We have, exactly, that's what I was about to ask. Do we have any ideology?
Do the people want ideology?
That is the problem. Everybody is just, or majority are just after stomach infrastructure. And what is called politically self-interest. They are just looking at what will suit themselves. That's why some people will be in PDP today, they could go to APC tomorrow, they could jump into, if they don't get, and particularly, I predict more defections, especially in coming 2027, when they don't secure the gubernatorial ticket for a particular party, immediately they will defect and start condemning that party. They are not after the ideology.
So do you see much of a difference? Because just recently I saw the birthday clip of a former Minister of Transportation.
That is 60
that has been
years.
very critical, you know, saying things about how the government doesn't care about the poor. He has all the right sound bites. He's a fantastic opposition firebrand. But in that video, because he has a way of talking about how elitists do things, in that video, a private moment, dancing with his wife, you could see stern-looking bodyguards, and you're wondering, this is a private celebration. Why this display?
I would analyze.
So is there any difference between all those politicians, or they are all
after self-interest? And I will analyze him briefly. At the age of 34 years, a very rare age, this man became the Speaker of Rivers State House of Assembly, Rotimi Amici. At the age of 42 years, very rare age and unique again, this man became the Governor of Rivers State. At the age of 50 years, this man became the Minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Minister of Transportation, and he served also 2 terms. Total of 24 years this man has been in power. This man should retire peacefully and be given out to the society. He should build an institution where he should be donating to Rivers State. He should be grateful to God. How many Nigerians, over 200 million Nigerians, how many Nigerians have this golden opportunity, and was also the DG to former President Buhari twice. So this man, by default already, nobody needs to be told, this man cannot be hungry. If he's hungry, he's only hungry for power.
Wow. Okay. Is there any political implication to the fact that the APC is now leading in the South-South, I would say, because, of course, we already know that the South-South has 6 states. Akwa, Ibom, Bayelsa, Cross River, Delta, Edo, and Rivers, I believe.
I'm going to make...
And now only 2 states.
I'm going
That's
to make...
Bayelsa and Rivers that are not yet controlled by the APC.
No, I mean Rivers is almost.
Rivers is
almost
half and half.
Rivers is a bit shaky. What's your take on Rivers, by the way? Rivers State. Do you see similar like Fubara just?
And then you can.
He visited the president in Lagos here, and he visited him and paid him a homage. And information closed door, behind the scene, is that he's already ready to play to the president's gallery to secure his own seat back, which hopefully he will get it. And in return, he would also win the presidency. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as a strategist, is after winning re-election. Everybody knows that. So he's ready to work with anybody who is ready to
So are you saying
for him.
Rivers becoming a PDP state?
Or APC? It may
Sorry, an APC
state.
Yes.
There are 2 ways in which Asiwaju Tinubu plays his politics. He is as it was described in Financial Times in 2015, is a Machiavelli. He is somebody whom he can tell Fubara, okay, still work in PDP and still deliver PDP. At least Wike still says he's in PDP and he delivered APC.
Is it PDP in APC close?
Exactly.
PDP, APC.
So we have people like that. Kano State now, we also have information that Kwankwa Swan is the current governor. Most likely will also work for Asiwaju. We saw many NNPP.
But you didn't quite. Let's now
I was going to go back to
her
the 6.
question.
You know, you said you had projections for 6
yes,
governors
I have.
who are moving to the APC.
No. The South. You
yes,
mentioned
the political implication of APC
the South,
being in
because you
charge
can't be
of the South.
president of Nigeria by only the votes of the South, because the strategy
now
seems
the North,
to be
he has to
focused
win the North.
on the South.
Yes, and the North now is really tense. You know, the North, once power comes to the South, they are all clamoring again. Power should go to the North. So in the South, I'll just mention the governors that are likely to work for the president come 2027, Enugu. Then in the Middle Belt, Plateau State is already romancing with the president a lot, and most likely...
Why do you say Enugu, though?
Enugu, this governor is most likely going to work also because...
Is it because he's standing as a stronghold in the PDP?
The reason is that the polity and the geopolitics of Nigeria is that South-South and Southeast, they tend to want to work in alignment with the federal government. That is how they've been since 1999, since Olusegun Obasanjo. Except in Buhari's time. But there was something unique that happened in the second term of Buhari. And this is also another response to one of your questions, is that even if all the governors defect to APC, that does not guarantee the president being re-elected. Look at 2023. Look at the Obi phenomenon. This man came in without any structure, without any governor, and he won 8 states according to INEC. And he even won Lagos State, which is the stronghold of Asiwaju. So my prediction is, even if all the 36 governors defect to APC, and INEC is credible, and the election is transparent, and people have resentment against this government, that doesn't guarantee re-election.
So that's the struggle. You use the word, and INEC is credible.
Yes.
So now everything is dependent on INEC's credibility to make
Absolutely.
it work. But there's also fear.
Intimidation, voter apathy. So
all of that.
That's why politics is not straightforward. There are many things in which politicians can use. They can buy their way in. They can gather. Many people are hungry. And politicians weaponize poverty.
They can also go to
That
court.
is another style. Court again.
And then court.
Rigging. So they can weaponize poverty, make people hungry, and gather masses of people and buy their
bread
votes.
And buy bread.
Give them
and
bread.
in their 1,005.
That's another way they can win election. They can buy their votes, weaponize poverty. Another way they can do it again, the rigging. Now again, I heard that the National Assembly want to pass a bill where you are mandated or you are forced to vote. So there is an opportunity for them to just get people.
Based on
there was
the
a
reaction
backlash.
of
Another thing again,
drop that proposal.
another thing they are trying to do is that you can vote without a voter ID.
That's the biggest one.
So that is the easiest way to rig elections.
So, but that one, from what I understand, except I understand it wrongly, they're not trying to say you are voting without an ID. They're just switching into digital, so that you're not. We are trying to reduce reliance on plastic or whatever we currently use for
the digital. They are
remember that the digital can also be manipulated. Remember that the digital issues. We still had issues in the last elections.
Glitch
as well.
Technical glitch.
Some people couldn't find their PVCs and all that. There were issues online and so on. They couldn't even vote.
But let's give INEC the benefit of doubt. They've had 4 years to reflect on their last outing. And hopefully they will do a better job.
Anyway, to wrap things up quickly, Doctor, for joining us. Quickly, what do you make of... we've talked about the defection of Akwa Ibom State Governor.
The refusal of the commissioners to defect with him.
Do you think that will affect the chances of the governor going for another term?
Now, the commissioners, they can reappoint new commissioners. The assembly is where there is a bottleneck. The national, Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly. Mind you, if 2/3 or more than 2/3 don't defect, he can be impeached. They can do it. But I don't see this possible because the federal will always, for example, they want to impeach him. They can just say they want to renovate the assembly as they did in Rivers State, demolish the building and frustrate, as also it was done in Fayoshi's time. They can frustrate the process of impeachment. But if the whole team don't defect with him and his structure does not, it might affect his chances.
So we might be looking at an impeachment anytime soon.
But would you also say that our politics has evolved, looking at the caliber of commissioners that refuse to defect and standing their ground? Because in Nigeria, they think, having a government appointment is heaven on earth, and anywhere the principal goes, I will follow him. Because
I commend the politicians. I commend the commissioners that did not defect. I commend the lawmakers that did not, because I want Nigeria to have a bipartisan. I don't even like all these multi-party. I like it to be two major, like you have in the US or in the UK or in other countries, where you have two major parties. Look at the 2023 now. There were three major forces, and we saw how the votes divided. The South voted majority for opposition. The North also voted majority for opposition, but there were divisions. So if we have two major political parties, and majority of Nigerians do not want this, they can go to another.
Well, excellent analysis, Dr. Yusuf Haroun. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Nigeria's opposition party, the People's Democratic Party, set to overhaul its South-South zonal and state structures in a sweeping move aimed at flushing out disloyal members and forestalling further defections. A member of the PDP's National Working Committee, who spoke in the condition of anonymity, said the planned restructuring was part of renewed efforts to reposition the party ahead of the 2027 general elections.
Well, sources say the party is clearly displeased with the spate of defections in recent weeks and is ready to take firm action after the salad break. Now, is this a case of discipline or political purge? What would this mean for the party at large? Well, joining us for this discussion is a member of the People's Democratic Party. We have with us Mazi Dixon Oriebu. Thank you so much, Mazi, for joining us this morning.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the opportunity. Good morning to the viewers.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning. Well, how do you feel? First off, just over the weekend, seeing core members of your political party cross-carpeting, jumping ship, celebrating, and saying they finally left and they are now in line or in tangent with the current ruling party.
I heard it all. I don't know where you got from. They can all to see where they are going. Showing signs. So no, you want to go with it for those who do, but so us will go. The people claim.
Mazi Uregu, you seem to have an issue with your
deny
network.
that move.
Mazi, we seem to have an issue with the network, and we hope that that can be sorted so we can have a proper conversation with you. But while we're having that audio sorted, I mean, it might be advisable to maybe exit and join the link back again to see if it will be clear at this time. But while we're having that sorted, I think it's an important conversation to have, especially because we just finished a conversation where we talked about the influence that the All Progressives Congress is having, for example, in South Nigeria. So if the People's Democratic Party say that they're about to crack down on disloyal members in their party, what would that picture look like? What would the crackdown look like? These are the conversations we're hoping to have with Mazi, especially looking at the fact that out of the 6 states in South Nigeria, 4 are being led by the APC at the moment. And there are indications, the remaining 2, one of them is PDAPC at this point, being Rivers State. So there are indications that we might see a total defection in the South of Nigeria to the All Progressives Congress. So
there
again,
are also talks that, this meeting is to forestall further defection. So how will it stop
the defections from happening? Yeah. I'm hoping that we have Mazi Rebu back in the conversation. And also, I think another angle I'd like to speak with him about is to ask if this is not medicine after death. It's a little too late because the key damage, political figures have already moved.
And the damage has been done.
Exactly. The damage has been done. What sort of remedy is the People's Democratic Party hoping to achieve with this crackdown? Will it show it as a formidable opposition in South Nigeria? So these are the areas that we're looking to explore with Mazi Dixon Uruebu. Are you there with us now?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
We will try to reconnect that to see exactly what that is there. But now let's head over to Delta State. In Agbarho, a community in the North local government area of Delta State, residents are gripped by fear and frustration. Women in the community say 26 children aged between 4 and 10 have gone missing under mysterious circumstances. News Central's Austin Azu is in Agbarho, and he brings us this report.
Hundreds of women a few days ago took to the streets of Agbarho, Delta State, in a peaceful protest, raising the alarm over the disappearance of 26 children in their community.
This is too much. Our children begin to lose, even those in a goat or fowl. The owner go find her. If you not see her, you go begin to panic, the waka all about the swear. Talk less of say human being. So now we begin cry that day.
Lucky Iriga and his wife, along with another parent, Vero Lucky, recounted how their 2 children vanished without a trace while playing outside after school.
Since on 29th of this May, came from school around 1 o'clock, maybe around 12, na KG3. Around 1 o'clock, after he might have shoved in it, go play around the environment. Now from there, I see my pikin. From that day to today now, today is Sunday, which is making 10 days now, I never see my pikin. And money why I don't wait concerning this issue, don't pass 100,000. I never see my pikin. My wife, he not this son, myself, I know this son. Every shop say I not fit the shop now. Unless I see my pikin, if I fit get us of mind.
I feel they sleep and they find her. They see they sleep. Just sleep, wake up for us, me and her. We just come outside. Because they call they fight for our compound. One boy with one girl. They call they fight for our compound. The pikin even start for me. Where they fight. Well, after the fight, because they fight that fight inside my house, we call come outside. A moment that fight stop, at that moment I just start to fight that side.
The big questions remain: who is behind these disappearances? And what measures can be put in place to better protect children and ensure the safety of Agbarho's residents?
I'm working for children. They let the with 20 children that lost.
The government should do something about it. I'm not happy hearing it that 26 children, after carrying pregnancy for 9 months, it's a very sad news. They need to bring more aids to enable these things to stop. So they should bring strong security in Agbarho.
In response, the local government council chairman has scheduled a security meeting for Tuesday aimed at finding urgent solutions to the rising insecurity in the area. So far, police has not issued any official statement regarding the reported abduction of the 26 children. In Delta for News Central, Austin Azu.
Very, very sad story. Again, to be talking about the lives of children, hearing parents talk about their kids being missing for 10 days or more is really disheartening. We have Austin Azu, who is in Delta State, and he'll be bringing us a live report. At some point, we'll be speaking with him. Yes.
You know what's so sad about this is we're beginning to see a pattern here of young children.
It happened in Rivers State.
In Rivers State, Biola Festus's report, not just one. And who are the people behind this kidnappings? It's bad enough that you kidnap adults. Well, I mean, look at the father. He said he's not been able to eat. I mean, these people are already struggling. They spent over 100,000, yet no result. Imagine the agony of a father looking for their children. And the authorities don't have answers to this. The basic requirement of any government is to protect the lives and properties of its citizens. And we're seeing multiple failures here in Rivers and now in Agbarho. It's very heartbreaking. But
very sad. I mean, it's really sad, but let's get to understand or get a sense of what's happening, what the mood is like in Agbarho. We have our correspondent, Austin Azu, who's in Agbarho, Delta State, and we'll be hearing directly from him. Good morning, Austin. This is a really sad story. Thank you very much for bringing it to our attention. We can see that you're with parents of some of the children who are being looked for. So let's get to hear from the parents themselves.
Okay, first and foremost, good morning. We are still in Agbarho, and we are before the victims' parents. Yesterday, we spoke to some of them. This morning, we are here again to meet with them to know how they are faring. This is the father of Eriga, the little boy, the 6 years boy, who they said has been mixing. Okay, please. His name is Mila Loki. Yes. Okay, Loki, tell us, how did it happen?
Eriga lost. Since on the 29th of May. After I don't come from school, as he come from school, shop finish, he say may go play. As he go play, now we dey find him now, we never see him.
Where una don't go to look for this boy? Una don't go police, una don't go community.
We walk out from that 1 o'clock to 10 o'clock. I go community, they say they go see him. I go station, say they go see him. I said, okay, now as he did today make 11 days. And make God.
Okay, when you go police station, you can't go back again.
I go police station, say they go see him. I call hard, say, I call go Ekma. Police station say one pikin. I call the as your pikin don't lost anything when they tell you go they follow. I call go Ekma police station say one pikin they see for door. I call from Agbarho you go Ekma station. He said now one pikin missing pikin like that now there they don't see him. I said okay, no worry, go back to Agbarho. I go back to Agbarho. From then I say you should make sure I will make arrest. I said I not go fit arrest anybody. Person when I don't know, I call say maybe 1 or 2 people I do this. I call the arrest people. Rest I don't fit do one. Now dating now.
Okay, let's meet Comfort, Lucky. Yes. Comfort, are you the mama of Eriga? Yes. Tell us, how old when Eriga day? What really happened that day?
Eriga na 6 years. He goes school that day. Last week Friday, he go school. He come for school. I do food. We arrest for here. We dey house. He come pray, go outside. At the waiter, whether he go run call for us, he no run call. I can't get up. I can't dey find her. All these small shit there where they follow they pray. I can't ask them say where Eriga na? You know, I don't say Eriga. I can't tell me say sisi when they come for school. They never say Eriga. Can't tell her. I just say now you want they pray for here before. They say no. They say they not see her. Now I call they start to find her. Really today soon. Never see Eriga.
Okay, Lucky. Yes. how many children you born, and whose position regarding for your children?
God so kind, he gave me 7 boys. The last boy, as you see me, that's all that 7 boy where they miss, so that's it big. 7 boy, and I go give me.
Okay, this matter won't happen for Agbarho here now. Not be only your Peking, people say now they miss. Even the Egwe, they don't protest, say almost 26 children now they miss for this community. When I don't feel gather on ourselves as parents when they look for their children, when they look for solution.
As this is happen so, everybody if you know say your Peking pay you, go waka for your own. My own he pay me. Wait, Jonah, he go really. My own he pay me. As I call yesterday, now see day till now. Till when I see my Peking, I beg government, let they help us. Where they hide the Peking put, if not the who as you walk be, they will find out make they see because I don't get 5 naira when I fit do go carry Oyibo con, go do like that.
Now, as this matter there or grand so, you don't feel waka apart from police to another place when they say if you say they go fee help you find the Peking. Then secondly, anybody don't contact you say make you bring money, may they forgive you the Peking.
For that issue, if you talk of money when I do where they my head now, not be small thing. And for that issue, say make I bring money, make I just see my Peking, nobody come that one. But for me, and they go church, they go Rako, to see, make sure say I see my Peking. Don't be downside now go because I know money when I don't hold for ground now. As I just see my Peking, now day after, that be the money when I hold because very soon now, person go to me say you hold me 10 naira brigand, and the Peking I never see her now. Anything go call the God, I beg. You see, and that's why I'm talking rich.
Which work you they do till they survive, feed your family?
Me, I be capital. For the show, now Gucci and learn from for the show, I call that capital. Rose about because when they break, I go to carry back the waka. Whether once you get the liquor, I go down. Tuesday get the liquor, I go down. If you're not here, I'll come back. I'll call the bank credit. Because man and woman, they must shop.
Okay, Madam Comfort, as this thing don't happen, so waiting you want make government do or make community people do?
Make they follow me, help me find my Peking. Where it is? Make they find her. Make they help me. Now I want to say, make they do for me.
Okay. Gentlemen, it's quite a pathetic story here. And we have a brother to Lucky who came from the village to console with them and to meet them as well to discuss the further way. His name is Emmanuel Omokre. Okay, sir, tell us, what in carry you come here?
What can we call you? Because what you put on my brother, I'm not so much so happy. I called yesterday, today. If I sleep, I need to sleep well. And I said, it's low up to bed for my. What did happen to her? It's more. What happened to her? See, happened to me. My brother, so I'm not happy. So the government should find solution to all this thing to show that there's put set up for such this way they happen. That's what I want to say now.
This thing when it happened for here, so it happened for many of the communities when they inside Agbarho. In your own village, this kind of thing they happen to.
Oh to God. In my village, it happened. It happened my village. I'm trying to tell you now. It happened my village. Where I come from.
What happened for them? So tell us.
The same thing when it happened when they carry this my brother Peking so it's happened too.
So what do our community people they do about them?
So we we call it where they dance, they dance this kind of happen. They carry leaf, dance to severe, so that this thing we could solve the solution of this what happened to us.
Okay, now you suspect any people or any group of persons when they involved for this children for inside Agbarho?
No, I'm not suspect anybody. Nobody knows. Only God will find a solution for us. Nobody knows. I don't know.
Okay. All right. We have another person here. Of course, she has been with the child for quite some time now. Okay, tell us, what you know about Eriga and how you dey miss am?
Eriga na very nice boy to me. In fact, I dey miss the baby because I do play with the baby several times. If I call him Erigogo, he will reply me Edodo. So that is how I call the baby. So I really miss the baby a lot. If there's any way they can find the baby for us, we'll so be pleased. We'll be happy so much. Please, they should help us because I'm missing the boy so much.
You don't work out for inside the town. You don't hear many women and many people they complain about their children when they miss. You get any information about who they responsible for the stealing of children for Agbarho?
No, I hope not.
Man, Austin, this is really very, very heartbreaking to hear, but I think that you've done fantastic work capturing the thoughts, feelings, the details behind the story. So well done first, and please extend support and our sympathy to the family, the people in Agbarho that are, unfortunately at a crossroad because they're not sure where their children are. We hope that this is a call to the government of Delta State, to the law enforcement in Delta State, and the country at large to stand with the citizens in Agbarho. They deserve to be reunited with their children. The children, they owe a fundamental duty of care to the citizens, and these children are no exception. So we look forward to being able to have you do some sort of a report when there's a reuniting with the children and their family. Thank you very much, Austin. That's a very heartbreaking story there. I mean, just getting to hear from the father, the mother, is a parent's worst nightmare. Normally, as a parent, even watching your child being ill makes you feel some kind of helpless because you feel like you wish you can take away the pain from the child. Now, not even knowing where the child is, if they're alive, not knowing, I believe they're alive. I have faith that they're alive. I'm hoping that, we can find out what exactly is going on and reunite them with their parents. We'll be bringing you more updates regarding that story as we get it, as our correspondent is still very much on ground. Let's now move back to the conversation we had earlier, looking at the influence of the People's Democratic Party, their decision to, enforce strong punitive measures against erring members, the crackdown they say that they're about to implement. And we're joined by People's Democratic Party member, Mazi Dixon Iruebu. Thank you very much, Mazi, for joining us this morning. Regarding the PDP's decision to crack down on disloyal members, is that not maybe a decision taken a little too late, seeing as the key figures in South Nigeria have already defected to the APC?
In politics, 24 hours is a lot. And that a few people seem to have defected. And I say that because we understand that this is not particularly out of principle or because the party in power, the APC, has done anything fantastic. They are only there for their personal interests, those who are joining the APC, like the one who just defected from Akwa Ibom. You want that to achieve what, really? What is his grouse with the party? They said they are admiring Jagaban and all his qualities. And you wonder, just like what story you just told there now, how is the state of our country? What is the economy like? What is the security like? What then is it that is attracting them towards joining APC? Nothing but personal interest. And like I was saying earlier, of course, if you recall, even at the defection platform of the Akwa Ibom state governor, there were those who said no to it. And of course, I watched you earlier when you talked about those commissioners who refused to defect with him. So it simply means that the people are not with them. And then coming back to the party, the PDP, yes, indeed, we have had issues since the 2023 election. In fact, immediately after the primaries of the party in 2022. And some of us have maintained that what is haunting our party presently is that mistake of not upholding the constitution of the party, which I have here, which gives room for, zoning and sharing of elective offices. And those who had their own view then said, APC may want to go to the south, but the party is not in power. No, but the constitution of the party is not supreme to the constitution of Nigeria. So it was insensitive of the party not to consider the agreement of the southern governors, 17 of them, who got together before the primaries of all political parties and came up with a position that having seen that 8 years of reign of power in Nigeria came from northern Nigeria, that it would be right for the southern Nigeria to now also have it, so that we can have a sense of equal ownership of the country. And the party did not feel the pulse of the people, of the nation, and made that blunder, which is what is haunting the party. Are we doing everything possible now to reclaim the values that PDP, the founding fathers of PDP, espoused on the party? Yes, that's what we're doing now. And of course, the erring members, the renegade members, including these governors who are defected, of course, they will face the reactions as it will come immediately after the Salah break. And that's what we're doing. And I think PDP will get its ass together if we correct that very mistake of 2020, not zoning our ticket to the southern Nigeria in 2022. Once that is corrected, most of some of these challenges we're faced with will be history, and then the party will come back again. PDP is about the only political party organically organized for the good of the Nigerian people. The purpose of forming PDP is to, add value to the lives of the Nigerian people, and then help build a great nation as Nigeria ought to be. And by everything possible, the leadership is doing everything to ensure that those mistakes made will be corrected. And Nigerians are yearning. That's why you see people are worried about PDP's current state, because Nigerians know that 16 years rule of PDP, that their lives were better. The running of the nation was better organized. APC has come and within 10 years ruined everything, practically everything that the PDP built towards the development and growth of Nigeria in 16 years. So indeed, we will put our house together and watch out. PDP will come back. And possibly these renegade members may also want to begin to reconsider coming back to the party.
Now, Mazi, I want to take you up on some things you've said this morning. You use really strong words and language, and you've referred to them as renegade members. And it seems the PDP South is ready to wield the big stick to instill party discipline and crack down on disloyal members. And when you look at the South, one name stands out when you want to talk about anti-party activities and disloyal members, and I'm talking of the current FCT minister, Mr. Nyesom Wike. Is he under your purview? What are the plans to discipline him if you feel he falls under this category of disloyal members? And also, what can you do about the governors that have left already? You mentioned something about they will face the consequences. What consequences could they face if they've already joined another party?
Thank you. Yes, always we would mention the FCT minister, and one wonders why. It's not something that is unusual for Nigerians after election, right? After election, we have a nation to build. The former government of PDP under Obasanjo had members of other political parties in his government, right? So it's just unfortunate that we don't know where to draw the line. And the leadership, as we have today, haven't failed to galvanize all Nigerians, in the name of one nation, not in the name of a political party, right? That's what has caused all of these angles that we are seeing. Nyesom Wike is about the only performing minister under this government, and that is a PDP member, right? If you say, anti-party activities, while I'm not his fan, but I also have some sympathy towards his engagement of the party. He is insisting that agreement that the southern governors had in Asaba, the Asaba Accord, should be upheld. That power ought to come back to southern Nigeria. That is what is giving Nyesom Wike the muscle with which he's engaging the party, right? So if the party corrects that and listens to this, because that's the right thing to do, right? Because it is wrong for anybody to imagine it, that after 8 years of a northerner, then another northerner will take over. It is very wrong. Just like some of us will, fight strongly by the grace of God in 2031 for power to return back to northern Nigeria in 2031. PDP must do quick. We must be fast about stating clearly that we have made a mistake and we want to correct it. Power is going back to southern Nigeria. In fact, PDP can also uphold what is written in the Constitution, which is the consensus arrangement. If there's any consensus that should happen now, it is that power should shift to southeastern Nigeria. That is the right thing to do. Once PDP leadership is able to give this right body language that the power should go to southern Nigeria, particularly to southeast, then the likes of Nyesom Wike would have no reason whatsoever to continue the engagements that you have called anti-party. About him serving in the government of APC, that is not anti-party, because we are all Nigerians. The Constitution of Nigeria is above any constitution of any association or any political party. So I don't see him as an anti-party agent. However, someone who is strongly opposed to the party not upholding that zoning arrangement, the sharing formula that is enshrined in our Constitution. That is what Wike is about. Other angles of him engaging the system and all of that is all politics.
But he's come out to say that he will be supporting President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in 2027. Is that not anti-party? Because the PDP is clearly going to have their own presidential candidate.
We haven't gotten there yet. There's a process. In fact, if this were a country where the laws of the land were upheld or is upheld, everything about politics should be banned until 9 months to election. Discussing like these posters of Jagaban that we're seeing everywhere is against the law. We shouldn't allow politicking to derail governance, which is what we're facing now, right? The party has not held a convention yet. So we don't have a candidate yet. But he is insisting that if the party continues with the position of possibly throwing again the aspiration for the highest office open, then he has taken a position that the southerner must be supported. And this includes, some of us, even though I may not support his own choice of the southerner, I am obedient, for instance, right? And I'm a member of PDP. The likes of us who are within the party are saying, if the party opposes its constitution, some of these renegades, as I call them, will not even throw up their heads. The governors who are defected is also in line with rebelling against, the party not doing the right thing. Even though, unfortunately, the host of that very Asaba Accord, the former governor of Delta State, Akwa, was the one who really betrayed that agreement, because what was he going for? The position of VP to the northern candidate and all of that, as we had in 2023. That is what got us into this whole mess that we are faced with. And now, after the whole thing he did, he has now said to have defected to APC, and people are taking him seriously. It's unfortunate, really. But we know those who are members of our party, and they are standing firm to rebuild the party and bring back those who are genuinely aggrieved with the issues that the party had in 2022 primaries. Like the likes of Peter Obi, for instance, we are pleading and working hard for the likes of him to come back. If PDP does the right thing and indeed says consensus, we're saying Southeast should produce the next candidate of our party. If Peter Obi will come up, and you will know that within between that day of the election and 2027, by the grace of God, by 2 p.m., 1 p.m. on that day of election, the result would have been known, because clearly this government has failed woefully in upholding the main reason why governance is established, which is the welfare and security of the people. The economy of our country is in
Can you hear us? Okay, Bazi, if you can hear us, I mean, we've gotten your point in response to the questions asked, but let's further get your views on this. You've talked about going after Peter Obi because stories out there clearly states that the PDP is looking forward to re-invite Mr. Peter Obi back to the party. He seems like the only ticket for the PDP. That's one. Secondly, while the PDP is looking to invite Mr. Peter Obi back, remember that he has said that he's going to run on the Labour Party. But there's also a big quagmire somewhere. You also have the governor of Oyo State, Mr. Seyi Makinde, who says he too is going for the big one, the presidency. So it seems like you're still swimming in the pool of problems. It's not done yet. While you're finding a presidential candidate, there's one who is a member, critical member, saying, it's my turn. I'm also going this time. How do you want to handle that ahead of 2027, which is just a few months to go before, campaigns begin?
The last time I checked, Governor Seyi Makinde has not said anywhere publicly that he's vying for the seat, highest seat in the land. People may be doing all of that, and it is politics. The ticket is not expected to just get to be handed over to whoever will become our candidate eventually. There has to be contestation, right? That we're inviting Peter Obi back to the party. Yes, he has an edge over any other person who may want to come from southern Nigeria to aspire for the ticket. Governor Seyi Makinde does not have 6.1 million as allotted by INEC, available with him. Peter Obi has that. It's about numbers. He doesn't have it. So he has not finished his job in Oyo State as governor and all of that for him to be rated and possibly considered for the highest seat in the land. We are saying Peter Obi because we are insisting that power should come back or should be retained in southern Nigeria. Just like we did in PDP within the party in 2017, 2018, towards the 2019 election. The ticket was strictly zoned to northern Nigeria. And there was a northerner in power at that time. We didn't go looking for someone from southern Nigeria to, replace Buhari. We went for a northerner, particularly a Fulani man, right? Because we understood that. And that is why we said that was a mistake we made in 2023. But now that we have a southerner in power, and this southerner like Buhari has failed woefully. Because if Jagaban tells you that there is renewed hope, there's no renewed hope anywhere. It's renewed shege that we are faced with. Everything about Buhari's failure, this government has amplified. The failure is obvious. So we need to go down south and shop for another southerner who is better than this current one in the villa to replace him. And by every means possible, the available person is Mr. Peter Obi. So if we're able to woo him back to our party, the structure you're talking about is not those governors. The structure is the people. And PDP is about the only party in Nigeria which has the structure spread, including up to family level, not just ward or polling unit or local government or state. We have PDP members up to family level. And so if we have a good candidate, like a Peter Obi, I'm very sure that, like I said, 2 p.m. on that day of election, because we will not be waiting for going to court. The focus is to win at the field. 2 p.m. on that day, the election would have been won and lost. And this government in power would have been packing to leave. If PDP gets its ass together, as we are going to work, as we're doing right now, very sure that this party will come back and give Nigerians the succor that we ought to give them, because there is evidence of what we have done before. There is something, the last guest you had said something about our having this proposal, and we support it. If we can have 2 major political parties in Nigeria, that would do. And PDP haven't held sway for 16 years. APC has held sway for 10 years plus now, and we have seen the difference. It is clear. So if we can do that, and Nigerians can rally around the right candidate, Peter Obi will sack Jagaban within 1 p.m., 2 p.m. on that day of election. If PDP is able to woo him back and the obedience come back to say, indeed, because it's about our country, including yourselves there, those of you, the anchors there, what is the state of the country for you? How is Nigeria, for you? How is it treating you? How is the economy for you? And all of that. So we don't need to pretend. If we know what the market is like. We know what the insecurity state is like. They keep telling us all sorts of things about what they are doing. It's all propaganda. The roads, travel by the roads. I went through Abuja highway, Abuja to the east the other day, 2 days ago, and the roads are in a terrible state. And this man, rather than fix even the already existing roads, is doing some white elephant project called Coastal Highway. And he's out of how many, 700 and something kilometers. He's only commissioning within 2 years about 37 kilometers, and they are clapping for themselves. It's a shame, really. We just need to, as a people, realize that it is us against them. And they should watch out, because this is not just going to be another contestation. Nigerians are hungry. Nigerians are angry. And Nigerians are ready to queue behind the right candidate that will get the right platform so that we can rescue our nation from these buccaneers in power. Because these people don't mean well. These kleptomaniacs in power, they don't mean well for our country. PDP, when it comes back, Nigerians will know the difference.
Mazi, I need clarity as to something that you had said. You made reference to the Asaba Accord at some point during your response. And if you recall, the Asaba, you've given us a brief summary of what the Asaba Accord was about. And His Excellency, the former governor of Delta State, Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, was someone who was criticized for, quote-unquote, betraying the Asaba Accord. We've seen him now move to the People's Democratic Party. We've seen his successor, Governor Sheriff Oborevwori, move to the People's Democratic Party. You spoke at the start of your conversation saying that, they would meet, whether they would encounter some sort of issue in front. I'm not quite sure. I don't want to misquote you. But what sort of punishment do you think? Do you think that the PDP has any influence on these ones who have already left? I think I need clarity in that regard.
No, they have punished themselves already by leaving, okay? But the mandate of the people will challenge it, because it is the people's mandate that they are holding on to, not their mandate. If you listen to the Akwa Ibom State Governor when he was announcing his defection, he said, having been elected as the servant, as their servant, that he is now deciding. Imagine that, a servant of the people now deciding to take the mandate given to him by the people to another platform. It's quite shameful, really. So the punishment, as we are talking about, they have punished themselves already by jumping ship. Thinking that PDP will sink. PDP will not sink. This party is big enough to accommodate, that's why it's the umbrella, to accommodate all Nigerians, all right? But those who I call renegades, who came in as leeches, took our mandate and eloped with it. We will go for it, and we hope that the court will do justice to reclaiming the mandate that the people gave genuinely to these people who have now jumped ship in the name of the campaign to the reunion APC, as I call them, because it's the reunion party in power, because they've ruined everything, really. It's unfortunate. There's no reason whatsoever for anybody, any Nigerian, to imagine that a sitting governor, right, of like a state like Delta State, a rich state. So when you say you want to plug in the state to the center, excuse me, what kind of narrative is that? These are lazy-minded leaders, all right? Because if not, what is it that you're looking for at the center? Delta is a rich state. And if we have a government that is, really about the people, the resources of the state, if well applied, will work for the people. You don't need that story, cock and bull story about attempting to plug the state to the center. That's a lame excuse. They don't have any reason whatsoever to come to this reunion party that they have joined now. But like I said, they have punished themselves already. And I'm sure the people know what to do. The people are only waiting for the platform to organize itself. And that party, that APC, that the people are looking forward to is the PDP. Remember that Delta Delta State all these years has been a PDP state. So the people know where they really belong, not the selfish governor and his followers who have joined the reunion APC. So
just to clarify, I believe there was a slip when I was asking the question, talking about them moving to the PDP. But of course, I'm sure that you and our viewers knew that I meant that they moved to the All Progressives Congress. That is Senator Ifeanyi Okowa, Governor Sheriff Oboroweri. And you are saying that you're going to take the legal route. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and see if the courts work in favor of the People's Democratic Party. And, you know, if this crackdown will deter those who intend to decamp to the All Progressives Congress in the future.
Absolutely. Crackdown. Joining any association in Nigeria is by choice. And if you want to quit, it's also by choice. It's a right of yours to exit anytime. So we're not having a crackdown on anybody. However, we are wooing those who should be rightful members of the party. And we're organizing our house to put, you know, the party back to winning ways. We're not cracking down on anybody. That's not what the party wants to do. Rather, we are organizing ourselves to put the party on track to winning ways. By 2027, by His grace, when PDP gets its house together, we would have been coming back to help salvage the ruins that APC has caused in our land.
Do that because we do realize that the campaigns will begin in earnest just a few months down. Thank you so much for joining us, member of the People's Democratic Party, Mazi Dixon Oriegbu. Thanks for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, away from that, let's quickly go to our correspondent who's on ground. Well, we would go straight to Benue State. Earlier on, we had gone to Delta, and we saw what was happening in the community, missing children, a community that is known to have, you know, love and empathy and so on, but it's starting to look very dangerous now. But this time in Benue State, there have been fresh attacks, as we can confirm to you, in Gwa West and also in Apa local government areas that has left several people dead and many others displaced. We can confirm that to you. Well, our correspondent, Sagir Ibrahim, is indeed on ground in Benue State. Sagir, thank you so much for also taking time out to ensure that you got to Benue on time and also ready to share what you saw. So please go ahead.
Good morning, Joe. Good morning, Benga. Thank you for having me on the show this morning. So, just a bit of correction, the attack happened actually on Sunday, June 1st, and about over 40 persons were, you know, affected by these attacks. But then, you know, the numbers has been increasing because we went to Naka town. Naka is the headquarters of Way West, which, you know, was affected by these attacks, and we saw, you know, the level of damage that was done. But first of all, we actually spoke with the, you know, traditional ruler of Naka town, who gave us a comprehensive detail and feel of how the attacks were. We'll be bringing some of those to you, you know, in our subsequent reports, hopefully in the news. But then I have somebody who will be joining me this morning. His name is Francis Ugbede. He is a development journalist. Now, the reason why I'm having Francis this morning is because Francis has 20 years of experience covering the communities in these places, and from what we understand, this attack has been going on for the past 14 years. So he will be giving us some detail as to why this has been happening. Good morning, Francis.
Good morning, and I want to thank you for the opportunity given to me to express myself.
Okay, now, Francis, Apa and Way West recently attacked. What can you tell us has been the reason why this has been happening, especially considering the fact that this is not the first time and it's been happening for over the course of 10 years?
Well, one, we find it very difficult to state the reasons of attacks in Benue. As a journalist who have covered these incidents for over 15 to 16 years, we see covering series of peace meetings between the Meati Allah and the people of Benue. We are yet to know the micro reason of the attack, because Meati Allah, who have been claiming responsibility of the attacks when they take place, are yet to come up with a cogent reasons to say this is why they are attacking communities in Benue. Sometimes they will say, the communities are killing their cows. The communities are killing their cows.
And the people find it very difficult to understand that killing of cows will lead to this magnitude of destruction.
Okay, now, so what do you think should be the solution to those problems? Because the governor has said that some of these, attackers who have attacked these villages do not seem to be Nigerian. So how do you think that we can continue to address this situation?
You see, if these people seems not to be Nigerians, that means they are faceless. How can you get them to do a roundtable discussions with them? Recently, when there was a peace meeting at the instance of the governor in Benue here in May, the paramount ruler of the two people, the paramount ruler of the Idoma, the two major tribes here, had a meeting. The Meati Allah were in Benue, and they gave an excuse that it is their culture of grazing. Yes, if it is your culture of grazing, your culture permits killing, that is no. That was what the Totiv asked. And the man said, it is the bad eggs among them. Then the Totiv told them, okay, fish out the bad eggs and come genuinely and discuss with the people as it was done in the past. The people coexisted with the herdsmen. But what is happening now, nobody knows. However, it will take the political will of the government to come out with some strategies to iron this problem. They will leave the issue of political sentiments out of it, do a roundtable discussion with people who have been claiming responsibility, and they will bring up their reasons, and it will be looked into, and a solution will come towards resolving this issue.
All right.
Yes.
All right. It's a matter of political will. Well, the reason, like I mentioned earlier, Francis has been here 2 decades covering the issues, but then we've been trying to reach out to the spokesperson of the Mieti Allah as well, so that we could get a response, of course, as regards to that, details of which we'll be bringing you definitely. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you so much, Sergey Ibrahim, for that detailed information concerning what took place in Benue. Just to add as well, yesterday news circulated that the governor himself said that he would blame the current crisis in Benue State on the National Assembly, and not forgetting to, he made mention that it's not just an ordinary clash between herders and farmers, that it has some political undertone, and also mentioned sponsorships as well. So I guess we are back to the conversation that is looking like what we heard from the Borno State governor as well, where he had mentioned that this is beyond just clashes. It's something that it needs a lot of,
Mr. Yes.
Absolutely. And that's exactly what he said. But I want to thank Sergey Ibrahim. Hopefully we can get to speak with others who really matter, and then they can shed more light on what the situation is. But thanks for your time, Sergey. We look forward to connect with you again. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, let's quickly tell you that Vice President Kashim Shettima has flagged off the deployment of over 300 refurbished tractors in Borno State. The tractors restored by Naseni under the National Assets Recovery, Refurbishment and Redeployment Project are part of efforts to strengthen mechanized farming and boost food production. News Central's Umaru Kirawa reports.
It's the peak of the rainy season, a critical window for large-scale farming across much of Africa. In Nigeria's northeast, Vice President Kashim Shettima is leading a major push to improve agricultural output in Borno, a region long impacted by insurgency.
The data at our disposal shows that Nigeria currently holds over 26,000 units of broken down but serviceable heavy-duty equipment and nearly 500,000 component scraps that can be restored or repurposed. This contrasts with the stark reality that we have only 7,000 to 12,000 functional tractors in a country that needs 2.4 million tractor units to meet our food production goals over the next decade. These figures are a reminder of what must be done, a reason to have a national inventory of value waiting to be unlocked.
The government's goal is to cut production costs, reduce the price of staples in local markets, and stabilize food supply across the country.
Our mechanization drive has faced serious setbacks, especially following the devastating floods of September last year, which damaged a significant number of agricultural machines. That is why today's intervention could not have come at a better time.
Borno is not only agriculturally strategic, but regionally important. From the Sahel to the Lake Chad Basin, the state supports a wide range of crops, millet, sorghum, cowpea, sesame, maize, and rice, and plays a key role in livestock trade across West and Central Africa.
Enhancing security for farmers to ensure smooth agricultural production remains a cause that must be achieved for effective value addition.
Professor Babagana Umar has graciously procured totally 351 units of implements and equipment, which were designed to match the capacity of the refurbished tractors.
Beyond agriculture, the Vice President also commissioned a new power project at Borno State University, part of efforts to enhance learning conditions at the institution. Maintaining these newly deployed tractors for both dry and wet season farming and ensuring steady power supply at the university will be crucial to delivering results. In Maiduguri for News Central, Umaru Kirawa.
Well, wonderful reports there from Umaru Kirawa. Let's quickly bring you a reminder of the stories we've had so far so good by telling you what's still to come here on Breakfast Central. Still to come on Breakfast Central, we'll look at which way Nigeria in our conversations, and then newspaper front pages as well will be up next at 9. And don't forget to tell you the programs you can watch later today on News Central. As we're saying, what else? Let's take a look at the top stories for this hour on Breakfast Headlines. Let's begin with security matters, where the lawmaker representing Borno South Senatorial District, Aline Dume, has disclosed that former Chief of Army Staff, retired Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, narrowly escaped death after his convoy was ambushed near a frontline military base in Borno State. The attack, believed to have been carried out by suspected Boko Haram insurgents, resulted in a fierce exchange of gunfire between the attackers and the troops escorting Buratai. While details on casualties remain unclear, Ndume revealed that the insurgents managed to destroy several military assets, including mine-resistant ambush, protected vehicles, tanks, and machine guns. He described the security situation in Borno as rapidly deteriorating, with insurgents moving freely to torch and steal military equipment. In the meantime, one of the Mayeti Allah Cattle Breeders Association of Nigeria's members, Sani Hassan, was killed last Tuesday in the North Bank area of Makurdi, Benue State, the group has revealed. The Benue State chapter of the association has raised alarm over rising cases of intimidation, cattle rustling, and threats to life in parts of the state. According to the association's chairman, Ado Risku, a total of 1,185 cows were rustled between mid-May and June the 2nd in Agatu and Guma local government areas. The group is urging the Benue State government, the police command, and other security agencies to thoroughly investigate the killing and bring those responsible for both the murder and the rustling to justice. In another story, renewed violence in Akwa and Gwer West local government areas has left dozens dead and several communities displaced following coordinated attacks by suspected armed headers. The March 11 incident came after community members accused political traditional leaders of not doing enough to halt the killings. As the area continues to recover from fresh attacks and mounting insecurity, the News Central team visited the community on a fact-finding mission. They spoke to the Ter Tioshin and traditional ruler of the area, whose palace was among several structures set ablaze by angry youths earlier in March. Talking politics now, in Ondo State, the People's Democratic Party has accused Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa of abandoning major projects left unfinished by his late predecessor, Rotimi Akeredolu. The allegation was made in a statement by the PDP's Director of Media and Publicity, Le Agbarho, who claimed that the governor is deliberately neglecting Akeredolu's initiatives in a bid to erase his legacy. Well, in a swift response, the ruling All Progressives Congress dismissed the claims as baseless. The APC's Director of Media and Publicity in the state, Steve Otaloro, insisted Aiyedatiwa remains committed to completing all ongoing projects, adding that work is actively progressing across multiple sites. In Lagos, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has publicly declared an end to his rift with Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, saying all is forgiven. The president's remarks followed a closed-door meeting with members of the influential Governor's Advisory Council, who reportedly intervened on the governor's behalf. Council Chairman Tajuddin Olusi acknowledged that the president had been displeased with certain developments in Lagos politics and appealed for reconciliation. In a symbolic act of humility and reconciliation, Sanwo-Olu and other council members were said to have prostrated before the president. While the exact cause of the disagreement was not disclosed, the gesture appears to signal a fresh start in the relationship between Lagos State leadership and the presidency. Well, let's tell you that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has been scheduled to confer national honors on selected lawmakers as part of the Democracy Day celebrations on June 12. This was disclosed in a statement by House spokesman Akin Rotimi Jr. in Abuja. Rotimi said both the leadership and members of the House of Representatives will take part in a special joint sitting of the National Assembly, where the president, expected as a special guest of honor, will address legislators. The event will also feature goodwill messages from former presiding officers and the official conferment of honors on chosen lawmakers. Away from that, the 2025 Ojide Festival is indeed one that would always bring a lot of delight in Ogun State. We're kicking off one of Nigeria's most iconic cultural celebrations. Famed for its vibrant displays of tradition, regal attire, and daring horse riding pageantry, the festival draws thousands of visitors from across Nigeria and the diaspora. The town, buzzing with activity, welcomed dignitaries, tourists, and returning indigents for a celebration that blends deep cultural pride with economic opportunity. The Ojide Oba continued to shine as both a cultural spectacle and a key driver of local tourism and trade.
Very, very colorful. It's a real carnival, and I'm proud of my, for my state, Ogun State, and my what they call it, Ijebu. So Ijebu State, we are looking for it, and we will take it more in Ijebu State. We saw all the families, we saw Kuku, we saw Balogun. I saw Farouk.
For you, did it meet up the expectations?
It's memes.
What about you?
Oh, it's memes.
Well, it's been cool so far, actually. You understand? And it's just that everywhere is kind of smelling.
Come on, the horses were here.
But then, man, it's been really awesome, actually. The performance of our horses, they did well. And the mode of the dressing, as seeing me, I have the agbada that I put on this. I just remove it. If they can control the crowd a bit more, so that won't be okay. It was fun, really. I'd always been fun right from my childhood. So that's why I enjoy coming. Whenever I'm around in Nigeria, I believe me present here is a pleasure. And normally, there might be something being added every year. This year, a lot of things change. What I believe next year, so many things will change, and so many things will be done also.
Welcome to Breakfast Central. It's time for us to review the papers. Joining us this morning is Public Affairs Analyst, Dr. Ojon. Good morning. Baraka de Salah.
Baraka de Salah.
Happy
holiday.
Eid. Did anybody give you meat?
No, I've not gone out. I'm going out today.
All right. That's true. One of our guests promised us meat. Habib Haroun.
I think he sent his address already.
Did he send it?
Yes, he did.
I may have to join the train because Habib is my friend.
Ah, nice. And this one you and Drew are wearing ashwebi. That's really nice. Okay, let's get into the papers this morning and see what the front pages are saying. Let's start with the Daily Trust. On the front page of the Daily Trust newspaper this morning, 2027 division in Tinubu's base. Okay. Still on the front page, Hajj, how 7 Nigerian pilgrims died in Saudi Arabia. That's not a very good look at all. At the bottom of the paper there, we can see some of the stories. There are residents, experts to raise alarm over state of FCT abattoirs. Top contenders square up for Anambra governorship. Kano GSM market fire, traders count losses. ACF to president, prioritize governance over re-election. Democracy Day, president to address joint session of National Assembly. Naval officer stabbed to death in Kaduna. That's all on the front page. But if you look closer into the top story, it says there are cracks in the southwest base of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu months to the formal announcement or commencement of activities leading to the 2027 general election. Southwest being the president's base where he cuts his political teeth to become one of the most influential political leaders in the country, is regarded as his turf and linchpin for 2027. However, they're saying that recent happenings in the zone have shown that there is some form of division. Do you agree with the potential of a division in the southwest zone?
Yes, there's a heavy division, obvious ones that can be seen by all. But the impact of that on 2027 may just be marginal, minimal, so to say. For example, let's start from Lagos. You've noticed the back and forth that has started since the ousting of the former speaker and his eventual return. So it was a lot of politicking that was involved. And since after that, I know that the president and the governor has not been having a very good time. And the governor has been absent in some of major occasions and events that ordinarily he would have been there, being the governor of the president's base. But of course, beyond that, there was this allegation also that somehow through proxy, that the governor contributed to the campaign of Atiku Abubakar. Yes. It sounded unbelievable to me with the with the character of the governor. But of course, politician, you can never tell what the interest is. Nobody could have thought that even the president and Atiku would be fighting this dirty, having been business allies, friends for so long a time, business partners and all of that. So in politics, you cannot actually predict what will happen in the future. That's for Lagos. And you know, once there's crisis like that, there's this language that emanated from PDP those years. They say it's a family affairs, so they have to resolve it. And we were told yesterday that a resolution was procured without necessarily hearing the sides of whosoever the people that were involved. And I think that's a good one for the president. Now, going to Oyo, Oyo State has been a bit of back and forth since the 2023 election. In fact, the advisors of the governor of Oyo State had told him before the 2023 election that if he was not careful, he was going to lose that election because he took side with APC for the presidential election and came back to run as governor. And so there were a lot of back and forth. And do not forget that before he became governor, the influence of Senator Folani has been prominent within the PDP. And when he moved to APC, he became the flag bearer of the party in Oyo State. And usually, if you run for office as a governorship candidate of your party, and if your party loses election, indirectly, you take the leadership position of the party. And that's exactly what Senator Folani did. Unfortunately, his camp was expecting that he would be appointed minister. And the president went over him to pick another person who was not even a member of APC at that point in time because of relationship. So this has polarized and has continued to polarize APC in Oyo State. Combined with the fact now that we've seen social media reports and a bit of confirmation and denials here and there. Trust politicians. What they want to do, they will first of all deny it. We've seen post, we've seen news of the governor of Oyo State, his interest in becoming the next president. And of course, a lot of people have said that that's what true spanner into the wheel of progress that was going on between him and Wike. So Oyo State...
But he has not outrightly said that he's running.
He has not outrightly said.
He said, oh, I mean, he has the capacity, but he's not outrightly...
Of course, he has the capacity. That's how politicians talk. And, and you should have understood them by now. Now, if you look at, we have 3 camps now. Okay. The PDP that supported the president in 2023 in Oyo State, one camp, may not be supporting him in 2027. Folari is another camp. The Minister of Power is another camp. So there are 3 major camps in Oyo State now that will affect the level of vote at the end of the day. So the bulk vote that the president got in Oyo State in 2023 may actually be affected. Now, quickly, let's go to the last base, which we believe that is actually the home state of the president, Osun State. Osun State is in a big mess because the former governor had, a lot of people had thought that he would come back and run again, Governor Oyetola, former Governor Oyetola. But the feelers we are having is that there must be a power shift. Governor Oyetola is from Iragbiji, and the former governor of the state, this Prince Olagusoye Ilola, is from Okuku, the same senatorial district. So they are trying to look at how power can shift to other places. And there have been people that are coming to say, oh, they want to run, including the sitting secretary of APC. So there have been back and forth even within APC. Now the complication there, the major complication I'm seeing, is not even about whether one person is running or not. It's that the present governor, Imole himself has been fantasizing with the president. You saw, in fact, about last week, we saw him, his elder brother and Davido paid courtesy call on the president. And from the home front, there have been reaction from Osun State. They've been saying, no, we don't want him in our party.
Yeah, we saw that quick press conference.
So it's a major issue because they know that in politics, you trade position. A man who does not have position in politics does not have anything to trade. So if a sitting governor is coming to your party, you consider it as a major plus. And the people there are saying, no, this man didn't do anything. According to them, that we can win him in a clean and fair relation. But the president may not want to think like that. He has what to lose more than anyone in Osun State that are currently talking. So it's going to be a plus for him if a sitting governor moves, or even if a sitting governor enters into an agreement that, see, oh, let them elect me as the governor and we elect you as the president. So people that are complaining now don't understand the implication of self-sustainers, which is what the president is actually doing. You will notice that there are a number of people that are decamping to APC now. Despite that, the president is still meeting people. I don't know whether that picture is recent. I saw a picture of even Shegun Showumi.
Yeah,
that's recent.
That was recent.
So I mean, he's been here and we asked him if he's decamping yet, and he laughed and said, nah.
So, but he keeps reaching out. I remember when late Odumaki will criticize Tinubu, and before you know it, Tinubu will invite him for a meeting.
That's why they call him the master.
You have to learn one or two things from him. His level of political forgiveness is top notch. His level of tolerance, at least the one I know of him, is top notch. These are some of the things that he's bringing to the table, despite the fact that the economy keeps messing up his character. Because I said it the other day, we can rely on the figure and shout hallelujah in church, but democracy is a government of figure and feeling. So if the people in your community does not have a direct impact on the policy, the program, and the project of government, then maybe you have not done well enough.
Wow.
Well, there's a lot to look into.
It's interesting. I mean, you've talked about the politics of the southwest part of Nigeria. Earlier today, we're looking at South Nigeria and how the APC seems to be is gradually becoming a stronghold. I mean, if you're in charge of 4 out of 6 states, maybe 4.5, Rivers will be because only Rivers and Bayelsa now, they're not under overt APC control. But when you check it, Rivers in some way is still now, I mean, with the sole administrator who was put in there by an APC president. Yeah. So can we say that Rivers State now is gradually also...
That's the half you are talking about.
Oh, wow.
That's the half you are... And this is one of the reasons why people continue to talk about one-party state. It's getting to a point where they have begun to be afraid. Now, you remember during PDP that I think PDP at the point was having about 27 states of the federation. But there was not much of this fear because what PDP was doing at that point in time was not the campaign. What PDP was doing is to steal votes during election. They wait for the day of election. They will carry ballot paper. They will write figures and ensure that their own person wins. But this one now is, okay, we don't have to wait for election. Let's just do the maneuvering that we have to do within the period of play. Don't let us wait for the halftime or even the end time. I think that's one of the reasons. And one very bad thing in PDP happened. There were a lot of political atrocities that happened during PDP, but it happened during election. There was this man called Senator Enlanwo. His name did not make it as the candidate of PDP. Olushola Oke name made it as the candidate of the senatorial candidate of PDP. And Olushola Oke was spending, campaigning. You know, when INEC published your name, he was campaigning, was spending money. And when people go to Senator Enlanwo, he will say, no, it's my campaign manager. And this man, Olushola Oke, won election. Before he got to Abuja, they've done swearing in for Enlanwo. That's under PDP. That was what they were doing. But APC now has taken it a bit further. Instead of waiting for election and stealing ballot, let us, because our democracy has actually grown, the level of ballot snatching now has gone down. But let's see what we can do to talk to people. If there's any red card, we can show them in the secret that you have some skeleton in your cupboard. If we can do that, let's do that. All we can do to ensure that, I'm not saying that's what they are doing, but there's also a possibility of that. Let's just mop up the entire voices of opposition that we have so that we can face 2027. And the bad thing about that is that the way it's going, if we continue this way, APC will win the 2027 election, the presidential election for 2027. But immediately after the presidential election, APC will scatter.
But APC is not the only ones that they are moving to. NNPP too. They are already moving to NNPP. If you look at the front page of The Guardian, for example, you will see here that Kwankwaso receives 1,230 APC supporters to NNPP. That's
okay, so yes, so the difference between that is that one party is receiving leaders, the other is receiving supporters. So, and you know Nigeria, the Nigeria kind of politics, the question is always, who dare your party?
Why do you say
quality over quantity?
Yes, who dare your party? So once they believe that you have 10 senators, okay, they believe that you have the capacity to actually win election. Meanwhile, those senators are not the one that will vote. But it's the concept of perception, not of performance. The perception, they look at your party, and that's why you hear a lot when you are trying to advertise a new party to people and say, oh, vote for this party. They say your party cannot win election. It's not about the fact that the people do not like your party. It's about the fact that your party does not have that kind of perception. How many governors do you have? How many senators do you have? So I think that's the major difference. You can be receiving supporters and the other person can be receiving just a minimum number of leaders. And at the end of the day, perception will favor the other party.
All right.
Okay.
Anyway, let's look at, still on The Guardian, but I'd like us to quickly look at this story. Lagos, you've talked about that. Lagos political storm clears. Sustainable forgives Sanwo-Olu a JC brokered truce. Ondo PDP berates Aiyedatiwa's refusal to complete Akeredolu's project. I did talk about that in the breakfast headlines, and then there's a response from his press secretary who says he's going to do that. We lost millions to Durbar cancellation. Kano government laments. Troops uncover 27 illegal oil sites, arrest 43 in Niger Delta. And economy back on track, but not yet, Uhuru says Bagudu. June 12th, Tinubu to address NAS, confer national honors on lawmakers. That's another story to look out for. So, what's your take? Let's take this story, economic back on track, but not yet, Uhuru, according to Bagudu.
If you look at the first business leverage and all of those things, you discover that the figures are coming out well. And of course, one thing that a lot of people are not aware of is that when you devalue your currency, the major advantage in that is that it will allow the world to be able to procure your product. In other words, if you devalue your currency and they export any product from your country, the product will be cheaper outside of your country. So it will give the people an access to be able to buy it. But if you devalue your currency and you do not have enough exports, You have done nothing but to destroy the livelihood of the people. So that's why now when you look at it now, it's looking as if we are attracting more foreign currency because of the fact that the little export that we are having, people can have access to it because their currency is already devalued. So if you look at the figure are looking well. And don't make the mistake of trying to compare the figure with how the government...
reality.
Well, no, don't make the mistake of, first of all, comparing the figure with when the government came on board. If you compare the present figure now that, oh, we are doing well, and you take it side by side with when the government came on board in 2023, you will see that we are not doing well. But if you compare the figure that we are having now with what the government did in the first 3 months of getting to office, then we are doing well. That means, don't let me confuse you, that means if you compare the figure we have now with Buhari's figure, we are not doing well. But if you compare the figure we have now with Tinubu's first 3 months in office, then we are doing well. That means that it was Tinubu government himself that made the situation extremely complicated. So what they are correcting now is their own complication. I don't know whether you got that
now I get your point.
So we are looking well now.
I think from the proclamation of fuel subsidy is gone. We saw a surge in everything from the economy down, and that impacted everything. So what they're trying to do is basically, in simple terms, trying to solve that problem that was created.
Yes, that was created.
But the worry is, would they ever go back to how it was before that statement was made?
That's where the issue is. Because the economic direction of the president is completely different from the governments that have come before him. Completely different. Now, if you look at his style in Lagos, all the development he put in place in Lagos, number one, you will see 3 undertones. Number one is privatization. Number 2 is heavy taxation. Number 3 is more money for government. That is his own governmental mentality. Totally different from Jonathan administration and the man before him, Yar'Adua. Yar'Adua is welfareism. And that was why he was able to crash the price of petrol. Because he didn't care what the government is making. He just felt that democracy is about feeling. Now, but the government presently, democracy is about figure. Let us make more money so that we can embark on more projects. Now, that is very good when you embark on more projects. But now this is the complication. If you embark on those projects and your people need to pay for those projects, that's where the complication is. Because now your people are paying more, they are not earning more. 70,000 naira minimum wage is not more compared to the reality of the market. But you need to pay now to drive from Lagos to Calabar. And the argument will be, which one will be preferable for us to invest heavily in the East-West Road? Ma'am, East-West Road started in 2005. Till today, we have not fixed it.
It's not been fixed.
It's not been fixed. So these are the implications of some of that policy. But you can never detach a man from his mentality. This is President Tinubu's mentality. He believes that for any government to run efficiently, the government needs more money through taxation. Whether that is right or wrong will be for classroom debate.
Okay, let's go and do a mini analysis of our lawmakers. If you still look at the top right corner of the Guardian newspaper, it says, June 12, Tinubu to address National Assembly and confer national honors on lawmakers. Yeah. We're not sure who these lawmakers are, so I'm going to give you open assessment of Nigeria's lawmakers.
Okay, so
who and who do you think the president will confer national honors? Do you think maybe like Honorable Mweboshi?
I have one, and I'm going to state it here, and I think I will pass.
Who?
Who's that?
Senator Godswill Akpabio.
No.
Honorable Mweboshi.
No. The FCT minister.
No, National Assembly.
He's going to be there. Oh, you mean the National Assembly? No, it's not just National. They said he's also going to, not just National. If you read the full story, he's not just going to address, give national honors to only lawmakers.
Let me even see if we
have
the
other people too that they're going to receive national honors.
Okay, but
let me. Okay, your question is the National Assembly.
National Assembly.
Okay, so the first name you called.
I think, in all honesty, yeah, one of the ways that we have bastardized our own kind of democracy is that we do not know the importance of the National Assembly. What makes democracy democracy is actually the National Assembly. Because where we are coming from, if you check the military rule, you see that there's executive arm, National Military Council or something. The judiciary is functional, but no legislature. So what makes democracy is the input of the legislature. Now, in our own case, we have forgotten this. So when we are sending people to the National Assembly, we send anyhow people to the National Assembly, and at the end of the day, we are expecting our democracy to be very thick. It's not going to happen. Let's quickly touch on the issue of the budget. The executive can prepare anything and throw it down as the budget and the yearly budgetary provision. It is the duty of the National Assembly to look through it, page after page, line after line. In fact, there's never been a time in Nigeria, and I stand to be corrected, that the president knows every detail in the budget. It is the duty of the National Assembly to do. But when you now put anyhow people in your National Assembly, then your democracy becomes faulty, because anything that affects your budget from the very beginning has put a question mark on the delivery of such budget for the year. For instance, if you have a budget where cutlery keeps featuring, at least I know this from 2019, that cutlery in Aso Rock keeps featuring every time. In one of the State of the Federation, there was argument about one particular amount of money in an office, 10 billion naira. And when they opened the budget backwards, they discovered that this 10 billion has been featuring since democracy started in one office, and nobody has seen it until the House of Assembly of that state saw it recently. That's exactly what happened. So our lawmakers are supposed to be the symbol of our democracy.
Defenders of democracy.
The defender of our democracy. You do not need to go to the court if you have a working lawmaker. That's the meaning of that. Because the problem that will have taken you to court in the first place will have been tackled from legislation and compellation of the executive to do what is right. But in this instant now, there seems not to be a difference. And it's not about fighting. Nobody says democracy is about the legislature fighting the National Assembly. It's about aligning on what is right for the benefit of the Nigerian people. And if you see any question mark on the act of the executive, you call them to order. It's as simple as that. So, to disappoint you, majority of the people in the National Assembly will be honored by the president, because they may not have done your own kind of bidding, quote unquote, but they've done excellently in the sight of Mr. President.
So, like he gave GCON to Senator Tajuddin Abbas, he's also looking at possibly.
We don't know yet. Or
no, I mean, he did that in 2024.
Yeah, he has done that. There were people that already have national honor.
Yes, so I'm just looking at it from that in 2024. If you bring it down to 2025, obviously, I mean, I don't think we need to run through the names. I think it's a bit obvious, but we'll wait. It's a joint session, and hopefully that will be after he gives his presidential speech. We'll see what will come out of that. But then again, it's still the renewed hope. Permit me to quickly move to Daily Independent. There's a very interesting story in front of the Daily Independent. Let's see. SEC warns Nigerians against investing in Punisher coin. There's a new coin that's trending online. They call it Punisher coin. Again, Nigerians, as usual, will look forward to put small money and get the fortune of a lifetime. Let's move on to another one very quickly. Serap asks Tinubu to review appointment of APC members as recs. Now, this is a story I want us to look at, because this is rearing its ugly head again, especially on page 6. If you have time to read that story, please do. And it dates back to what had occurred in 2023, prior to the elections, where there were rumors that some of the recs were loyalists and party members of the current APC. But yet nothing was done. And that led to a lot of revelations where some politicians and some, political parties had fingered the losses of a huge number of, politicians who were vying for office to what the recs had done, not ensuring that things were done properly. But this is rearing its ugly head again. Serap is saying, review it.
You see that suddenly I have become extremely sober.
I saw that.
Yeah, because I can't even say half of what I know. It's when people go out and they shout that police is corrupt, police is corrupt. If I ask anybody now to name the most corrupt agency of government, people will say it's the police, because they see them once in a while collect 15 naira. If you know how corrupt some of these agencies of government are, you will pity our future. In fact, you will pity the future of democracy. The first way to destroy democracy is to put partisan people in position of electioneering. That is the first way to destroy. At least we will not be doomed as a nation to the extent that we will not see free minds. People who don't have their hand in politics take up these responsible positions. At the end of the day, we are trying to destroy democracy by putting partisan people in position where they will have to organize election. In fact, I say it, I say that there are, apart from INEC, there are many sensitive positions that politicians do not have any business in. For example, what's this agency that gives a review of statistics? Or
NBS.
NBS. For example, NOA, National Orientation Agency. All of these, some of these agencies don't have any reason why you should make a politician their head. Because they are not working for your administration. They are working for Nigerians. And it's sad when we get to, and it's not a question of Tinubu's government too. It was heavy. You remember this woman who was spokesperson to the president, Loretta. You remember her?
Yes, I do.
You remember at a point she was actually nominated for INEC position.
Yes.
That is how they are gradually destroying democracy. Yes. So it's something, if I didn't fight for democracy, it was Tinubu and co that fought for democracy, according to their report and what we have read. And if they want to use their hand to destroy what they fought for, they should let us know, so that we will not come out to educate anybody. We will know that those who fought for it have decided to actually also destroy it. Then everybody will keep quiet. But for us to continue and be putting people that are partisan in positions where they have to conduct election, control the process of election, or announce result, then it's the fastest way to destroy democracy. And I'm sober because I've seen it happen. Now, we have created an impression that if you do not belong to APC, you can never win election. And the people are suffering for it. At least let's give the people a chance to choose whosoever they want at any point in time. But if you now begin to build the political layers that will make that impossible, build the political layers that even when people go out to vote genuinely, there are already layers that's going to frustrate whatever their aspirations are, then we are not doing well as a people. So I also want to plead with the president to critically look into this. And it's not just about, you know, the embassy now, the United States Embassy.
Yeah.
When you want to apply for visa, they tell you put your social media account. So verifying people is not limited to, because this story that you will hear now is that they are not card-carrying members of the PDP. But go and check their social media. You will know their political alignment. So when you know their political leanings, once you know that they are towards APC, PDP, YPP or any, just give to neutral people. So I think the president should just act on this.
Well, that's a big one. If you recall, just a few weeks ago, Senate had confirmed the appointment of 5 INEC commissioners as well. These 5 INEC commissioners, the names were submitted by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu in March. So basically just saying that the report on behalf of the committee, Senator Simon Lalong also urged the Senate to confirm the nomination of 5 individuals. These individuals include Umar Yusuf Garba of Kano State, Sahad Umar Idris Bauchi, not forgetting to Chukwemeka C. Ibeziako, Anambra State, Umar Mukhtar Bono, Dr. Johnson Allah Libo, Sinikiam of Bayelsa State. But here we have Serap saying, listen, ensure that you review these appointments. And, I mean, you've highlighted why the fear is there again. But then again, we'll leave that story and move to another one very quickly. Shatima unveils federal government's asset restoration drive. He was in Borno State over the weekend, and he was able to give out tractors to farmers, especially for farming. The same Borno State where we also know that there's a fight against insecurity too. That is there. Illicit drug consignment packaged as green tea intercepted in Lagos airport. We need to talk about this. Let's leave politics for now. This Sunday tonic that we always get from NDLE every Sunday. I want to ask, I don't know if you're aware, do they apprehend these people only on Saturday and Friday? Or is it that they apprehend them on Monday and then they keep them so that they can release them on Sunday? Because it's a Sunday thing. Every now and then.
There are two possibilities.
Okay.
You know, when you travel on the road on weekend, on Sunday especially, you discover that the road is usually clearer and void of police men. That's when you travel on the road. And I think we can actually import the same logic into believing that the level of security at the airport may actually be a bit reduced during the weekend. It sounds logical.
It does.
But again, it could also be that, our press release or press statement will be on Sunday. It doesn't matter whether the incident happened on Monday or two. But whichever way, is the reality as we speak now that you cannot line, and let's even start from these other drugs. Let's go to the quote-unquote the bigger ones. You cannot line up 10 Nigerian youth today and be able to pick 5 of them that is not on any kind of drug. On any kind of drug. There was this musician. You know, I said it here. I made a quotation from Asha here the last time I came. She said, who is responsible for what we teach our children? Is it the internet or the star on television? There was a particular artist that was on stage, and I don't know what they call that thing. They said he put that in his mouth, and after performance, he forgot himself. So they have to give him hot slap or something to, I don't know what they did to just wake him up. These are the people that our youth are patterning their life. These are the people they look at when they put on their phone. These are the people they see. Unfortunately, deliberate involvement of government and investment to counter that narrative is very minimal. Extremely minimal. You cannot say you want to do any mentorship program in school today and they will give you a chance. I told you that story back and forth that we have. So we are not investing in the development of the mind in a way that will make people naturally see that drug is not going to add anything to their life. We have just left them to pattern their life with the stars they see on television.
And we've sort of
it's a
made it
big complication.
you know? We've made it fashionable. Growing up, there were those things were regarded as forbidden. And if you indulge in certain drugs or certain, I don't know if I should call, smoking certain things, you would have been looked at like, right,
in a certain way,
looked at a certain way. So people oftentimes who were involved in that did it secretly. Now, you are walking down the streets in VI and they are calling the names of these substances to you. And see how far, you want this one, you want that one. And I said, is this where we have gotten to?
Yeah.
So even with substances, with drugs, it seems to have become regularized. And I can't downplay the influence of media. Media in terms of music, movies, and how, in a way, we make it seem cool. Which is why people would often ask, do you think that maybe introduction of capital punishment for drugs would cut down or limit how drugs are being trafficked? Certain countries like the Asian countries. I remember going to Thailand and I bought a metal box with numbers because I don't want you to say, oh, somebody opened your bag, zip, put something inside. Everybody was like, you're going to Thailand, please, we'll be extra careful. So I went and bought a box because of my trip to Thailand. So do you think that that's something, that an area that, even though, there are those who have kicked against it, but there are those who still push for capital punishment for drug abuse and drug trafficking?
2 things you have mentioned in that very short thought of yours. The first one is the issue of morality. And I've repeatedly said it, that when morals fail in every part of the world, we will circle back to Africa. But I've begun to doubt that now. Because instead of Africa to stick to the morals, Africa is trying to look for what is better than the morals. And we are falling into decadence. And that's why you see now that people just do these things because they've normalized it. The second aspect of it is that people are escaping the reality. And the major 2 ways that people escape their reality is that they go through the social media, they just stay there, they live there. And the second way is to be on drug. Unfortunately, there's this proverb in my village, because you wake up in my village as early as 5:30, people are already high. Ogogoro, not this thing.
Where's your village, by the way?
I'm from Eseldo, so in Ondo State. So while we're growing up, we see a lot of people that are already high. And they will always say it as a proverb that if you think you can escape your problem by getting high early in the morning, you are still coming back to the problem in the evening. So when people want to escape their realism, they embrace drug. But of course, when they come back, the problem is still there.
The icon
so,
clear.
Yes, they have to go back again and again until it becomes an addiction. 2. Number 3, in Nigeria, capital punishment or whatever punishment has never stopped anything. My advice would be, let us make a deliberate investment in preventive measure, which is one of the reasons why I am applauding, what's the name of the agency now?
NDLEA?
NDLEA. I'm applauding them because consistently they have shown that they are doing something.
Absolutely.
You understand? So what the government needs to do is that when they are looking at the physicality of the fight, government should look at this, the psychology of the fight.
In NOA.
Yes, and reorientate the people and engage the community. If the police, I was the first person in Nigeria to start what I called Police Youth Connect. The idea then was that, okay, there was a lot of crisis that was happening. I was almost a prophet. It was as if I saw NSAS coming. So in Lagos here, I met with the Commissioner of Police and we organized what we call Police Youth Connect. It was an idea for the police to speak their mind to the people. When the police wanted to sign their ambassador, they went to sign celebrity. When they signed the celebrity, I saw the celebrity smoking on TV. Not smoking ordinary thing, smoking Indian hemp on TV.
Okay.
That's the ambassador of police. So we cannot be fighting with one hand and be destroying what we have fought with another hand. We are so inconsistent, and it's because there's no national policy on some of these things. We must write deliberate national policy that no administration will be able to change.
And that does it. Thank you so much for joining us today. This wraps up the show for today. Thank you to our audience, our viewers, every guest who has joined us this morning on Breakfast Central. We'll be back again tomorrow when the world, at least in this part of Nigeria, returns to full work swing. For now, it's still holiday. Enjoy the rest of your holidays. We have a lot more interesting shows. Coming right up after Breakfast Central is Jasiri. We'll see you tomorrow. I'm Olive Emodi.
And I'm Joe Hansen. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Dr. John for being here. Thank you. Thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.